high atop 1926 Hollywood Boulevard, you're listening to SoFloRadio.com.
Say, Jill.
It's time for the O and Noodles Show. You can reach the show 954-990-0036. You can reach the show on Twitter at O and Noodles Show or at HalfMoon20. It's time for the O and Noodles Show on SoFloRadio.com.
You know everything, Taylor. Don't rush to the bar, fool, if you ain't got no paper. That's the rules. High as fuck, sloppy drunk when I'm passing through. Rolling doobies up, yo, who we pass them to? Hit the club, spend this money.
What's up, South Florida? The O and Noodles Show. Coming at you live here from Broward County. Watching here, I guess, game 4 of MLB's on a commercial break now. I'm a huge Dodger fan, so I'm a little nervous while I watch possible elimination for my Dodgers. Kershaw on the mound, but we got a lot to talk about today. Obviously, we're going to talk about the NFL, the Miami Dolphins.
You're a Dodgers fan, really?
Yeah, of course.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, low-key. It's my West Coast team, by the way.
I thought you were a Yankees fan.
East Coast team.
Oh, okay.
So I have an East Coast, West Coast
team. So you're bi-coastal.
Yeah, more or less.
Kind of like...
Well, National League and
right.
like American League, I like, you know.
So you got like a Biggie Pac thing going there.
I just like the Dodgers. Yeah, something like that, I guess.
He's got to be a fan. That hat ain't fresh.
Right.
It looks like it's been beat up a little bit.
It's been around. This hat's been around for like 10, 12 years. I wore it today with Vibe. And
that hat looks like it's been through it.
Yeah, of course. But, hey, I had to wear it. Today's a big game for us, big game. So, but we're definitely going to talk about the NFL, the Miami Dolphins, our beloved Miami Hurricanes football team. We'll get into little MLB talk later on, and a couple other stuff that are interesting in sports. NBA basketball obviously is kicked off already, preseason, and Ray Allen today signed with Cavaliers, so we just keep on adding more players that were with the Heat now with the Cavs, and we'll see how that turns out.
Hopefully Ebola virus hits Cleveland soon.
Whoa.
You sounded like the Jacksonville Jaguar mascot. That went crazy.
That was awesome.
Did you see that?
Yeah.
He cut out of heat for that, by the way.
Whatever. I mean, it's just having fun. I mean, they take everything a little too serious nowadays.
It's funny. What I like is he's actually like on a Segway. Did you see it?
Yeah.
He has a little sign that he made up. Yeah, I read that. And
he got creative.
At first, when I read it, I was like, who cares? Like, I didn't see nothing wrong with it, and everybody's stressing out over it. It's not a big deal. I mean, the guy's been doing it for almost 18 years. And I guess he's allowed to. He has the liberty to do whatever he wants.
Well, the mainstream media gets insulted because they've been promoting this whole Ebola thing like it's a major motion picture. They have a little logo for it, and it's the first thing in the news every day. And Ebola. So when you kind of make fun and mimic them a little bit, they get mad and they get really sensitive about it. So I thought it was funny.
Yeah. I have actually a picture of the guy here, which is pretty comical. But so we're going to get a little Dolphin talk. Obviously, the Dolphins won last week in London, and they were on a bye. Well, actually, they were on a bye this past week, and they played the week before that.
Against the Raiders.
The JV team of the NFL. And they beat them, which they should. So a win's a win, regardless.
Correct.
And you beat the team that's on your schedule, and you move on. So I give them credit for that. At the same time, they're getting some key players back this week. We hope no Sean Marino's at practice, and that'll definitely help this team out, even though Lamar Miller's played well. And
Lamar Miller's played very well.
Hey, he's played very well,
yeah.
And that's one of my
things. Surprising.
And Pouncey's back,
yeah,
which is our best offensive lineman.
Derek Shelby's not.
Well, no, Derek Shelby is.
I think they tasered him right in the face.
That's what it looked like right on the lip.
But wait a minute. Wasn't it funny when you saw the report? When they saw the report, it's like, he got arrested without resisting arrest. It looked...
No, it was resisting arrest without I forgot what the term
I think it was without resisting arrest. That was the charge. It was, he got arrested coming out of a nightclub without resisting arrest. And from seeing the picture, it looked like he resisted arrest by a lot. It's funny when you see somebody drunk and they get their ass kicked.
what they look like. It's like they're shocked.
Yeah. And it's funny because this is like whenever there's a Dolphins bye week, it's a very calm week of football. There's really not misery, not much going on, and the Dolphins still manage to come out in a negative light somehow. So I thought that was funny.
Yeah, he was Fort Lauderdale police report. Nightclub security said Shelby was touching women without their permission early Saturday. Shelby appeared intoxicated, was ordered to leave several times by an officer, and refused, asking, "What are you going to do?" Let's try the police department. Why not? Yeah, I mean, this guy's a backup.
Resisting arrest without violence. That's what it was.
Yeah,
Shelby was charged with misdemeanor offenses or trespassing after a warning and resisting arrest without violence.
Jesus Christ.
So how do you do that? Like, no, don't touch me. No.
Don't touch me.
Are you running
Come
away?
here.
Like,
Come here, let me taste your face.
that's pretty awesome. So Shelby won't be playing this weekend against the Green Bay Packers, but the Dolphins have a chance to win this division. They do. Reason being is the division is
I don't think
not going too well.
You think they have a chance to win? I don't think they have a chance to win this division.
Of course they have a chance. I mean, who besides everybody knows that New England is obviously what New England's always been. And
Right.
even they're on the decline, even
Correct.
though they played an incredible game the other night against Cincinnati. But we've noticed Brady's a bit on the decline. They got smoked by Kansas City. We beat them here at home pretty much convincingly. We dominated most of the game. The Dolphins have a shot to win the division.
The thing is, I don't even think the Dolphins are the second best team in the division. I think the Buffalo Bills are the second best team in the division. If you compare roster to roster, right now, the Bills have a better team than we do. Just at the skills position, the pass rush is better. I mean, I like Buffalo. I really do. I think Buffalo, if they put it together, if you put Kyle Orton in there, they got a solid win this week, and they play the Patriots this week. This week coming up right now is the week that I think you're going to see where the Patriots are really at, because you caught the Patriots this week on a week of controversy. You caught them on a Sunday night game, okay? And you caught them on a week where everything was against them. Even though they came out and played great, all right, against a Bengals team, which disappointed me because I thought Cincinnati was ready for the hype. And
They were missing some players.
but they still could have pulled it off. There's some plays here that they absolutely missed.
They played terrible. They should have played better, but they were missing some players. But you're right about that. They should have performed a little bit better.
I thought that they were at least going to be in that game to the end, and at no point in that game did I think that Cincinnati was going to win. With that said, what I was saying about the Patriots is I think this week you'll get a better barometer of what the Patriots are, all right, because it's not a night game. You don't have the media against them this week, and they're playing against Buffalo.
At Buffalo.
At
Okay,
Buffalo,
that's
and it
my
wasn't
next
at New England. So the chips are going to be more stacked against them this week, and you'll get a better barometer of what the Patriots are as opposed to this week. So,
well, I'm not going to disagree with you. I think
Right.
the three teams that have a shot to win the division are obviously the Patriots, the Bills, and the Dolphins. I throw the Dolphins in there because they have a shot. The Dolphins are that team that they're on the cusp of either being terrible or being pretty good.
Right.
And it's just one of those where how the ball bounces, if they get a special teams play, if Tannehill, connects with Wallace, on a deep pass, they win. So there's a lot of variables, but no, I mean, New England should win the division.
what do you think this week against the Packers? What do you think the Dolphins will do this week?
You just never know. If I had to bet my house, I would probably bet the Packers smoke them.
Right.
But the Dolphins at home are a different team. That they are. When they go on the road, they flop. When they played in Buffalo this year, they just threw an egg.
It's the same Dolphins of always.
Yeah, exactly. So if they could pull a couple of games off here and there, then they have a shot. They have a shot. They don't have a bad football team. They just can't seem to put it together. And bottom line, their quarterback is a big issue. We've said that here numerous times. Even though Kyle Orton is not your, he's been a career backup,
But he's a very stable.
But he's a stable
backup
and
quarterback.
He made some throws in that Detroit game
He's not going to kill you. He's not one of those quarterbacks that kills you. He doesn't make many mistakes.
Exactly. He's going to keep you in the game. He's going to give you a shot in the fourth quarter to win the game. So,
well, with Sammy Watkins and C.J. Spiller, all you need to do is just get those guys the ball, and those two guys are game breakers.
Absolutely. No, and Fred Jackson's playing a huge role for Buffalo. I mean, he's carrying the ball.
I'm telling you.
15, 20 times a game, catching 4 or 5
I
passes.
said at the beginning of the year, watch the Buffalo Bills don't get into the wild card. Okay, and it's starting to look that way. I mean, it's starting to shape out. Now they took EJ Manuel out. They got a solid win this week. I mean, Buffalo can do some damage here.
No, I agree. I see where you're coming from that. What do you think about Miller and Noshan now? I mean, Miller's played. I mean, I'm not gonna say great, but he's played very, very good.
I think Miller's hot right now, and I think that you go with a hot hand right now, and you're gonna give most of the carries. I mean, you're gonna go. Obviously, Miller's gonna get spelled by Noshan Moreno.
Yeah,
but you got to go with a hot hand right now.
18 carries Miller, 11 or 12 Moreno. If you go, okay,
exactly. But you put Miller as a starter right now. He's doing it, and it's his job to lose right now.
I agree. I mean, he's earned it. He's played well since Moreno's been out with the injury. It almost seems like, you can't question that we missed a step at the running back position.
Correct.
With Lamar Miller being on the field. So I agree with you. I think he needs to play, but I do think Noshan needs to play a role. Maybe if you line him up as slot or whatever,
you get him involved.
But you got to get him involved.
You get him involved. You spell him.
Yeah, he's too good of a player not to be involved.
Correct.
So I think Noshan Moreno has to be sprinkled in at some point.
You can bring him in on third down because he's the better receiving back.
Correct.
So he can be
and he blocks very well.
Right. He could be kind of like a Kevin Falk for you, which was for the Patriots.
Correct.
Back in the days.
Correct. Very good. Yeah. So the NFL this week, there's teams out there that have surprised me. One is the San Diego Chargers.
Wow.
They have surprised me a lot.
Wow, that's the most surprising team in the NFL.
That team is balling, and they have no running backs, and it's crazy. They had this new guy, Bolden.
That looks like San Diego from like 4 years ago.
Brandon something. What's his name? Brandon. I don't even know what his name is.
Brandon Oliver.
Yeah, there you go.
Which I picked up this week in fantasy.
Blows up.
He's like a clone of Darren Sproles.
Yeah. Yeah, so I mean,
I saw him playing. I'm like, wait a minute, isn't Darren Sproles in Philadelphia?
Yeah, exactly.
Who is that running out there? And I see him, and I'm like, what's that guy's name? Brandon Oliver. I went into my computer, pick him up.
Yeah, so it's just, I mean, there's 100 guys that are.
Oh, you want to get that?
No.
Oh, okay.
That happens when you leave your phone on.
Okay.
Bing. So basically, in a nutshell, yeah, like the San Diego Chargers have surprised me. The Dallas Cowboys
have surprised me as well.
They didn't surprise me because I knew that they have the talent. Their defense was questionable. So what has surprised me from Dallas is their defense. Their defense has shown up to play.
No, the defense has shown up to play, but Romo looks steady, and he won an overtime game this week.
But do you know why he looks steady?
Which I found surprising.
Because he's finally not checking off to crazy pass plays and realizing that he has a running back that can get the first down if it's 3rd and 4, 3rd and 3. And also their offensive line is just great right now.
Yeah. But let's not crown them yet. Remember,
No.
This is the beginning of the season. We're still in the beginning of the season.
But they surprised us. I mean, let's be honest.
Right. No, they have been very surprising. I mean,
we didn't expect this.
No, I did not expect this at all. And Jerry Jones was talking smack at the beginning of the year. I'm like, this old man is crazy. And right now, he doesn't look that crazy because they've put together some quality wins.
Well, they are as good as DeMarco Murray. I don't care what anybody says.
Yeah, that team right now on offense is DeMarco Murray. Yeah.
You could say Des Bryant is an animal. That guy is a beast.
But the offense there goes through DeMarco Murray.
DeMarco Murray. That's it. That guy is the man right now. He's controlling that team from the top to bottom. That
team kind of looks right now a little bit like the Texans did a few years ago. DeMarco Murray's Arian Foster. Des Bryant is Andre Johnson. It's kind of got that feel to it a little bit. Tough defense.
I'm surprised with their defense, man.
Yeah, their defense.
I'm going to be honest with you. I'm surprised. They lost DeMarcus Ware. And they lost their linebacker, Lee, at the beginning of the year with a torn ACL.
Yes, they did. That's right.
I mean, you lose those two guys. Those are probably their two best players on the defensive side of the ball.
No, and they put it together very well.
And they found a way to stop teams and control the game. Well, they're controlling the clock too. So there's a lot of variables there, but they are playing well. They are playing well, which I'm very impressed with them. Seattle went on the road last night and beat Washington. I'm a little bit disappointed in your boy Kirk Cousins.
No, I've already pinned down his game already. He can make all the throws that you need to make on the field. But his problem is that he doesn't have a filter. He just thinks that he can make every throw at any given time, and it doesn't work like that. I mean, that guy fires the ball into like triple coverage. There's like a small window and he still throws it. So I'm like, dude, you gotta, you know what I'm saying? You gotta filter that down a little bit. It just can't be gung ho all the time. Like the guy goes into fifth gear and does not know how to bring it back. He's just firing, and sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. And I think that's where the problem lays with him.
What do you think happens now with the Redskins if RG3 does come back? Has Cousins done enough to be the starter? Has he? I mean, he played Seattle, which is arguably the best defense in the league.
I think the jury's still out. I think the jury, because listen, they've lost 2 games, but he hasn't played terrible.
He played terrible against New York. He played bad.
Well, that was a Thursday night game.
Yeah, he played bad that game. He didn't play bad yesterday. He made some throws that I was like, he actually made a throw to Jackson.
He made 2 throws to Jackson that were like, amazing.
Wow,
amazing throws. Yes.
So I give him credit for yesterday. You know, today Colin Cowherd this morning was calling him a career backup and
no, I'm not ready to do that yet.
And yeah, I was like, I don't know. You know, yeah, against the Giant game, but every quarterback has a bad game. Let's keep it real.
Yeah.
We saw the greatest quarterbacks in the world, guys like Tom Brady, have bad games. We've seen Peyton Manning have bad games. These things happen. I'm not comparing Kirk Cousins to these guys, but what I'm saying is he had a bad game against New York on a Thursday night, and that happens. You know, I saw him pick it up yesterday, play a little bit better, and he did play Seattle.
He just played against Seattle.
Exactly.
Let me tell you something. Seattle right now is by far the best team in the NFL. There is no team.
I agree.
That can stand next to them right now.
And I'm amazed every time I watch
Russell Wilson play
quarterback.
Did you see that throw that he made yesterday that he had the guy on him and the tight end ran like a flag? It was like on the 10-yard line.
Yeah.
That throw was ridiculous.
You can't touch that guy.
I had to rewind that throw and play it at least 3 times to see that throw. That was the most amazing play of the entire game.
No,
I couldn't believe that he had gotten off the ball and where he put it when he put it. It was just amazing, an amazing throw.
So you're listening to the O and Noodles Show here on SoFloRadio.com. You call into the show at 954-990-0036. We're up against the break. We're going to talk about Thursday night football in the NFL. I actually think they need to cut that. They need to cut it out completely.
I said that at the beginning.
They need to cut it out completely.
When we first started doing the show, I told you that no one cares for that Thursday night game. It's not a good game for anybody. The fans, okay, sometimes you really can't go and watch that game all the time. I mean, it's not appointment television like it is on Sundays, which is 1, 4 o'clock, 8. You know, you already have that clock in your head. Thursday night football, you're still not revved up into it. It's kind of a mission for fantasy. You're still at work. So, and you get to watch it if you're home, because most of the time during the week, you're not home.
Well, what concerns me the most is the product.
And the
product is terrible.
Terrible because they're not ready to play yet.
Yeah, those guys are not ready to play, and they just look. I mean, Minnesota looked like
you have dead legs.
Oh my God! You're like, what is wrong? But you can't blame them. They played a game on Sunday.
You have dead legs,
and you don't recover from it. So you're listening to the O and Frank Noodles Show on SoFloRadio.com. We'll be back in a second.
Streaming live from the beautiful city of Hollywood, Florida, USA. This is SoFloRadio.com.
Say, remember when radio was fun? Now it's dead.
Because deregulation has allowed one massive corporation to spread its tentacles like a giant octopus, absorbing radio stations around the globe. And that's why you hear this.
SoFlo Radio will stand and fight the corporate monolith. SoFloRadio.com. SoFloRadio.com.
All systems are functional.
And get past the reins to Mr. Jackal, the new king of radio.
Is there life on other planets?
This is nuclear physicist Stanton Friedman, and now I'm a voice in the Jackal's head.
Is the government keeping secrets from us?
This is Stephen Bassett, and I am now a voice inside the Jackal's head.
Want to find out more? Listen to the Jackal's Head on the Super Media Network.
The biggest trick the Jackal ever pulled was to convince the world that he doesn't exist.
By the Glass.
By the Glass is a show about beverage culture.
Brad Hubbard.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to connect the dots on how everything works together. It's really all about how we enjoy things, how we enjoy life, and how beverages play a big part in that. I'm going to bring in people that are going to display their aspect of the culture. I'm going to bring in people that are going to show you different products. We're going to look at places where people go to consume these beverages and how they all interact. Things are built around the actual beverage itself.
By the Glass. Thursdays from 6 to 7. Only on SoFloRadio.com.
You are tuned in to the O and Frank Noodles Show.
Good afternoon, everybody. Hey, we need that thumb to go this direction.
On SoFloRadio.com.
Let me tell you about the young man we just drafted. You're going to be thrilled every time you watch him as a punt returner.
Time for some action. Yes, time for some action. Yes, time for some action. Come on. Yes, time for some action. 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 Yes, time for some.
So the NFL, for a variety of reasons, mostly because of money, continues to play games on Thursdays. And we were talking about it before we went to break. And look, don't get me wrong. I'm one of those guys that I want to watch more football. No doubt about it. But I agree with Frank. And it's just a Thursday game to me is like not interested.
It doesn't make sense.
And then it takes away from the college game that's on Thursday.
Correct.
That I kind of like to watch also. So I'm sitting there at home and I'm watching these two games and I'm going back and forth. I really can't dedicate one or the other because usually the college game on Thursday night's a pretty good football game.
Correct.
And
yeah, but they play on Saturday, so it makes sense.
No, and then even sometimes I noticed something in college football and I looked back and sometimes those teams that play on Thursday have the bye the week before.
Correct.
I've noticed that some of them don't. That doesn't always happen, but there's a good time. There's a percent there where, but the NFL, that Thursday product is just brutal.
Horrific. I think the Thursday night game works how they had it before, where it would start after the Thanksgiving week. See, around that time, you're already in vacation mode. You're not working as hard because, to tell you the truth, December, most people in their jobs, everybody works hard, but you're in a festive mood. So you're partying, you're going over to relatives' house, and it makes sense because you follow up with the game more, and the games mean more during that time. But during the beginning of the year, it does not make any sense whatsoever to have those games. The fans don't care about the game. I know the players hate it because, if you play on Sunday, Monday and Tuesday are pretty much your days to recover from that beating that you took on Sunday. Then you have one day for a game plan and then play on Thursday. Who gets ready for that? The only person that has his mastered is Belichick with the Patriots. He loves those games. He kicks everybody's ass.
Yeah, because he's just that type of guy that he can figure it out.
Right. He's that good of a coach that he's like, all right, let's play Thursday night game.
Yeah,
I'm gonna whoop your ass.
Yeah, and he uses everybody. He'll throw in there all types because he expects everybody that gets on the field to produce.
Right.
Other teams are like, I gotta stay with my starters, and they're afraid to put anybody in. He doesn't care. He'll use all the running backs. He'll give them all 10 carries each.
Which at this point I think has been a detriment to how he evaluates talent because he thinks that he can just wing everything with Brady and adjustments.
Yeah. And me and you at receiver.
Right. So he's like, I don't care. Bring anybody. I'll make it work.
No, for sure. So Thursday nights, at least in our eyes, cut it. Leave the college football games. I'll take it. There's one team that I want to talk about that has surprised me a lot. And it's the Cleveland Browns.
The Browns have played well, yes.
They've played very well. And Hoyer looks nothing like what he looked like in preseason.
He looks like a badass.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. He looks like a badass.
He looks like no one's even talking about Manziel.
No.
They've brought it up a couple times because I watched the game, and then at halftime,
he's wiped out the conversation completely.
Yeah, totally. But at halftime, they'll be like, "Oh, they were down this week." I'm like, "Oh, maybe it's time to see Johnny Football."
No,
negative.
No, sir.
Here comes Brian Hoyer. He's gonna throw laser beams all over the field, and they're gonna come back and win the game.
It's been a very strange NFL season. It's been like everything has been upside down. What you thought is not anymore. And you have new people on the rise. Look at teams like, did you see the Rams this week, how they almost came back and won? Did you see this guy, Austin Davis?
Austin Davis is actually, I wouldn't want to say he's a good quarterback, but he looks like a type of guy that with some good coaching and some help, he could be a decent little player in the NFL.
Yeah. He actually, I heard that he broke all of Brett Favre's records in college. Which which I thought was pretty amazing. I'm like, wow, this guy has to be pretty good. Well, he almost brought back the Rams after being down, I think it was 27 points in the fourth quarter this week.
Yeah, he brought him back. The Giants have surprised me starting the season 0-2 and coming back with 3 victories and playing well.
The Giants are such a funny team because it's just, I don't know what is it about Coughlin and Eli. They look completely worthless. They look actually like a homeless football team.
Yeah.
The first 2 weeks of the season.
Yeah, Eli looks like he's just confused. And like he's never seen a football field in his life.
Yeah, they look like they've never played football before. They just stuck some guys out there. And then from one moment to the next, it's like a switch that you hit. You put on, bam, and that's it. It's on. Let's go. Bring on whoever you want. The Seahawks, we got them.
Yeah, it's just crazy.
And they're on fire right now.
I saw them play Atlanta this weekend, and
they looked amazing. They were hitting on all cylinders. Victor Cruz was doing merengue.
Yeah.
Eli was throwing the ball. Yeah.
Prince got married. Did you hear about that?
No.
You know Prince, I forgot his last name. The cornerback from Nebraska.
Okay.
You know that he got drafted from the Giants, I think in the first or second round, and he never really developed into anything. And he's a virgin. Right?
Right.
So he had never been with a female until he got married, which he got married this off season, I think. So all of a sudden he's having this great year. And Antrel Rolle, don't quote me, I'm not gonna say exactly what he said because I don't remember exactly what he said, but Antrel Rolle was like, hey man's happy off the field and he's playing better on the field. Like something like that. So I mean it's crazy, but whatever, but he's playing out of his mind. He's finally playing like the corner that they expected him to play when they drafted him in the first round a couple years ago.
You think Tebow's still a virgin?
Tebow's not a virgin, bro.
They haven't announced it. They haven't made an announcement on it.
There's no announcement.
Right. How about AC Green?
Do you have the story there? Frank, our producer.
I'm looking it up. Give me a second. I'm looking it up.
So, no man. Tim Tebow's not a virgin, but he went to UF, bro. You don't leave that place a virgin.
Why? I mean, but he hasn't announced it publicly, and people believed him because he's so holy that they believe that he's not he's a virgin. So, I mean, that's
now that you're talking about Tim Tebow, I want to call out some people, and this is probably a little risky, but I want to call out our boy Stephen A. Smith, and who's the other Sanaco he sits with? What's this guy's name? Skip Bayless.
You
know, those guys had the audacity to say they're talking about the Jets. And how
that
bad
came out in
the quarterbacks
that came out in a New York paper.
And about Tim Tebow being the quarterback. Are those guys crazy?
But listen, at this point in that disaster, why not? I mean, what are you going to do there? Geno Smith, I mean, the guy has a great arm and he has a great skill set.
You play Geno Smith. You know what Michael Vick is. You play Geno Smith for the rest of the year, and at that point in time, you know what you got.
Michael Vick looks like he doesn't want to play anymore.
Dude, Michael Vick doesn't want to play, brother. He just wants to sit on the sideline.
And collect the check.
Clap his hands. Hey, good job.
Correct.
He doesn't want to go out there and play, man. That guy just wants to collect the check.
That Jets game on Sunday was an embarrassment.
Well, they played the Chargers.
And it was so bad that I think it was on CBS, right? They cut the game like in the fourth quarter and went to like regular programming. Yeah, it was that bad.
So we got the story on Prince?
Dude, these quotes are great. Check in these quotes out. For the first one, the one that you were talking about, he goes, for one, he's married, so he's enjoying some things that he wasn't experiencing before he was married.
We're talking about Prince from the Giants, right?
Yeah. Right.
Oh, okay.
Amukamara, that's his name, Prince Amukamara. So then he goes, for a man that could definitely help him out, for a man, I'm just being honest, it's helping him out. He walks around with a little more swagger, which is something that we need. And then he goes to say, it's kind of like when you have like a pit bull puppy or something, and they're still young, and you know they have the dog in them, but their nuts haven't dropped yet. So it's kind of like at that process of them dropping. I like it. I love it. Actually, we talk mess to each other.
Wow, that's a great story.
Who told him?
Antrel Rolle.
That's hilarious.
I hadn't heard about this story. What a great story. I love it. Yeah.
So if Tebow loses his virginity, does he come back like Joe Montana?
I guess so, right? he learns to throw the ball. That's what his problem is. He's a virgin right now. He can't throw the ball. He gets unvirginized. You know, see that guy throwing lasers out there all over the field.
That's what NFL teams are waiting for right now, for him to say, I lost my virginity. They're going to sign him. to a
Correct.
contract.
Bro, there's no way that Tim Tebow is a virgin.
There's
He
no
went
way.
to UF. Are you serious?
There's
Where
no
the
way.
the most skankiest girls go to school? There's no way he's a virgin.
Listen, and I went.
This guy just called the girls at UF skanks.
They are.
Yeah, I did.
They are.
They have straight.
There are a bunch of skanks. I mean, not all of them, but you have a major part of that university are skanks. So, I mean, listen, I went.
Everybody throws himself at Tim Tebow, man. Are you serious?
I went to a UM game there when that guy was the king of college football.
I was there at that game too.
He is. I'm telling you, that guy was king
Yeah.
of Florida. I mean, I've never seen anybody embrace that role the way that guy did. It was amazing, the following he had. Everybody was wearing jerseys.
Mm-hmm.
I remember yelling Tebow. I was yelling atrocities at him. They put a police officer next to me in the game, and I looked at the cop and I'm like, listen, I paid for my ticket. I'm allowed to say what I want, right?
Oh, I caught him outside when they were walking off the bus.
Yeah, I mean, it was like he was Joe Paterno there in Florida for 4 years. I mean, he was bigger than Urban Meyer, bigger than everybody. So that was a little crazy. But
no, he's not a virgin.
He's not a virgin, right?
No,
bro.
I second that. No way.
But I mean, he hasn't come out and say it. So how are you going to say that? I mean, I believe that he's not a virgin either.
Well, we're assuming,
right?
Dude, you're the starting quarterback at UF.
You're the
Heisman Trophy
you were
winner.
the king of college
You're
football.
the king of college football. They're lining up at your door.
Yeah, and he's
Can
not.
I come in?
And he's not a bad-looking guy either.
And he's not a bad-looking guy.
Yeah,
With DSL.
But didn't they say that Aaron Andrews supposedly hooked up with him?
yeah. That they were seen out together a few times at
church.
at that sushi place in Gainesville, Dragonfly or whatever. That,
I don't know, but
At
damn.
church.
yeah.
I wouldn't mind Aaron Andrews knocking on my door.
They have pocketazos. Bro, listen, that guy is not a virgin. Ve eso.
Yeah.
That's a front. That's a media front. I don't want to hear that. So, getting back to some NFL football talk, Richard Sherman, my brother.
I've had enough of that guy already.
You know what? I like him as a football
He's
player.
a great football player.
He's great. I love the fact that he's colorful and he brings a lot of hype to the game and he makes it fun and he's very eloquent, very smart kid. And I have a lot of respect for him coming from Compton. You know, he made it through, gets to Stanford, which is not an easy university to get into. He graduated with his diploma. You know, but there comes a time you just got to shut up, bro.
You just got to shut up, and sometimes you get burned, bro. It happens.
That's it. You don't got to tell everybody in the league that they suck.
Yeah.
It's all right, bro.
Like, look, he got smoked last night by
times.
Deshaun Jackson.
Yeah, a couple times. Turned him around a couple times.
Yeah.
Do you see Deshaun Jackson, who probably should be tweeting, "Hey, you don't have game like I got." Like, come on, dude.
Yeah, he just
Let
plays
go,
and that's
bro.
it.
Let it go, man. Like, listen, he has to understand that in the NFL, the other player, especially receivers, are gonna talk. Okay, that's just the nature of the sport. All right, there's talking involved in those games that we have no idea unless you're on the sideline there, you can actually hear it. Pierre Garçon probably got into him last night, talking back and forth. That's part of the game, brother.
It got heated there. I think what is it? He went down. I think Pierre Garçon went down, and when he went down,
he pulled his hair. I think
pulled his hair.
like that.
Yeah.
But you know what? Listen. You go to the locker room. The reporters tell you, "Hey, so what happened out there with Pierre Garçon? It's two grown men going out in the field to play. It is what it is.
That's
we left it out there.
We left it out there. Game's over, and we go on to the next one.
Oh, he's nothing in the league. Dude, like, honestly,
somebody's gonna crack him. This is gonna happen. They're gonna put a bounty on his asses.
Last year, what's his name punched him in the face. Another Redskin, was it Trent Williams or what's his name? Williams?
I don't remember.
In the playoff game, stuck him in the face because he was out there running his mouth. Basically he said that Pierre Garçon doesn't matter in this league.
What's gonna happen is that on one of those plays, somebody's gonna get spun around and they're gonna clean his ass out. Is what's gonna happen.
Well, you know what? I hate to say it, but there's, you keep on doing this to people in the league, and it's
gonna catch up with you.
They're gonna catch up to you. They're gonna lay you out. They're gonna go for your knees, and then what?
Exactly. He's just putting a bullseye on his back, bigger than what it is right now.
Yeah. No, and what's gonna happen is every time he gets scored on, it's gonna be glorified.
Correct, and it's gonna be bigger than what it is.
And yeah, exactly. And it's just he's
It's
putting
stupid.
himself out there really bad. And the thing is that he's smart, so he took the opportunity that he had and he made it huge. I mean, his impact financially with all the commercials that he's done, all the marketing that he's provided, He's made millions of dollars, signed a huge contract. All right, brother, you made it.
Yeah.
Shut up. Play the game. Like, I understood the hype before because he was Richard Sherman, a 5th-round pick. No one knows who he was. He plays up in Seattle. You know, let's be honest. Seattle's not the biggest media place in the world. So he had to put himself out there, put himself on a pedestal. Everybody sees it. Everybody signs him. He's doing commercials for Campbell Soup.
He's become the face of the Seahawks.
Exactly. You made it. You signed a huge contract. Just play the game.
Play
the game.
Other than that defense right now is just amazing.
Those guys are out there making no palo left and right.
Those linebackers run like cornerbacks. I've never seen a defense move. I mean, well, we saw the Ravens in 2001, but this defense I think is comparable to that defense.
Well, they're very, very good.
That defense sideline to sideline gets to it, brother.
One thing I noticed about them last night is that they don't really blitz a lot because they're able to put pressure with 4 guys most of the time. But when they come at you,
is on.
It's like you said, those linebackers, you blink, and if you are the running back that has to pick up that blocking assignment,
forget it.
And you don't know where it's coming from, and you have to hesitate.
You
just hesitate.
You're done.
Your quarterback's on the ground
because of the speed that they have.
I'm talking about it's hot, and the guy's all over you in 2 seconds. Yeah, that defense is the real deal. And that's like they're playing regular season games. Let's be honest. They're not turning it on. You see them turn it on in the playoffs. If Seattle gets home field advantage in the NFC, they're going to Super Bowl. I don't care what no one tells me.
Well, you got to wait to see what happens right now with the 49ers because they still, I mean, they're playing all right now. All they got to do is hang in there till about Thanksgiving when they get everybody back. And once they start getting everybody back, Navarro Bowman, Alden Smith, there's another guy that's out. I can't think of the name right now. But all they got to do is just kind of keep it together till then. And if that team catches wind, watch out for them too.
Well, the 49ers are definitely my pick. I picked them to win the Super Bowl. I think
I agreed with you at the beginning of the year.
We both did. We both did. Kaepernick has to play better. Okay? And this whole mission with Harbaugh needs to be nixed right away. They got this whole thing that
I don't understand. Like, it doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
Is the team trying to set him up? They don't want him. They don't want to pay his contract.
What's going on there. I think he butted heads with somebody in the front office, and it's become a pissing contest at this point.
And Harbaugh's not going to back down.
No, he's not, because he's a crazy person.
Yeah.
Harbaugh will come to your house and slice your throat.
Yeah.
That's just the type of person he is. I mean, you saw it on the field when he got Jim Schwartz and he started patting him on the back. Tremendo gade. And they almost got into a fight in the middle of the field. I mean,
those two guys are two hotheads.
Yeah, well, Jim Harbaugh is the hothead. That guy's nuts. He's crazy. He's a crazy person. So, I mean, what's going on there right now makes no sense because if you remember, I mean, go back and remember the 49ers before Harbaugh got there. With Mike Singletary.
Average
football.
Miami Dolphins.
Who was the other team? The other coach, Mike Tice. I mean, they had.
Yeah, they were average.
Like, that team was a disaster.
Yep, I agree.
A disastrous team. I mean, Alex Smith went through 7 offensive coordinators. Yep. I have no idea how that guy, he must be the luckiest guy in the world. Well, how he hung on for that long in the NFL because he was terrible for 7 years.
Yeah.
Harbaugh got there and in 1 year made Alex Smith a serviceable NFL quarterback. Now he's a little more than serviceable. All right. And took that team to the NFC Championship game.
Correct.
The following year, got to the Super Bowl and then went to the NFC Championship game again. So that's 3 NFC title games in 3 years. Buddy, that's not easy to do.
No.
And now you want to kick this guy out of here? I mean, what the hell? It doesn't make any sense.
I don't understand.
That doesn't make any sense. If that guy gets fired, any team is going to hire that guy.
Absolutely. But if he gets fired, I actually think he goes to Michigan.
I don't think so. I think he stays in the NFL.
You think so?
Yeah, I think he stays in the NFL, and he's a West Coast guy. He probably ends up with the Raiders.
Oh, I wouldn't take the Raider job.
Yeah, but the thing is, I'll take the Raider job if you give me full power and full control.
I wouldn't take the Raider job.
Why not? I mean, that's the Raiders, brother. That's one of the signature franchises in the NFL. And you get the chance to you're doing with the Raiders exactly what you did with the 49ers.
Yeah, but the 49ers had a roster. They were terrible, but they had a decent roster. He's built it up. I give him credit. It wasn't like I don't know. The Raiders are just so bad, dude. So bad. Listen, I think Michigan's a dream job for this guy. I'm going to tell you why.
The Raiders right now are a retirement team for the NFL. You go there to make money and to just hang out and collect the last paychecks of your career, which is what happened there with Warren Sapp, which is happening right now with Justin Tugg, Charles Woodson. Those guys are just playing the last days there, and they're chilling right now.
Yeah, they're
making money and playing football.
I either think he has to stay in San Francisco because I don't think he's going anywhere personally, but the Michigan job is intriguing to him. I'm gonna tell you why.
He's a Michigan guy.
He's a Michigan guy. He went to school there. Okay,
right.
It's the Big Ten. If he has talent, the only teams he has to really worry about on a year-to-year basis is Ohio State, Michigan State, and maybe Nebraska.
Omar, but the thing is that here's how you have to look at it, all right? He did the college thing already, and he already graduated to the NFL, tasted the Super Bowl, almost won. Harbaugh's a competitive guy, okay? I think he wants to win the Super Bowl, and this is what you have to look at when you go back to college. Not only do you have to worry about game planning for a game, but the recruiting part about it as well. And you basically have to be a babysitter for a bunch of kids. I mean, if I was a coach personally, I would rather just coach in the NFL, where you just worry about a game plan, preparing your team week to week.
Where's it easier to win and keep your job long term?
In college. But Harbaugh's not Larry Coker. Harbaugh, wherever he goes, he wins.
Exactly.
Right? He is the top of the cream of the crop of coaches.
Yeah, but in the NFL, you gotta have players. If he goes to the Raiders, they don't have nobody there.
Darren McFadden,
muerto.
He's not a muerto. He's just not.
They don't have anybody.
The thing is that you really don't know because, I mean, look, Randy Moss, which is probably the greatest receiver to ever play in the NFL, went to the Raiders, and you didn't hear about him for 2 years. He just went out there, and he caught the vibe that Tuck and Woodson have right now.
Look, I'll give you an example. Let's say Coughlin coaches this year, and Coughlin decides to retire.
Okay.
Because he's getting older, and we're assuming. Let's say he retires. See, the Giants are a team that I can see Harbaugh coaching. They have talent. They have a roster. They have a quarterback.
Bill Cowher's going there.
You think so?
That's what he's waiting for. He's been waiting for that job for about 6 years.
The Giants job?
Yes. Bill Cowher is going to the Giants once Coughlin gets out of there. That's what he's been sitting in that CBS desk waiting for this whole time, for Tom Coughlin to retire and go to the Giants.
Interesting. So we're going to take a little break. We'll be back in a couple seconds.
SoFloRadio.com and SoFloTelevision.com.
Here's the latest ratings you asked for.
What is this? Where did all our listeners go?
SoFloRadio.com.
SoFlo, what channel is that on?
It's online, sir. It's Wi-Fi radio.
Oh, I see.
But what channel is it on?
Put your business on the leading edge of media advertising with the SoFloRadio.com network. Unlike antiquated AM or FM radio, your professionally produced 30 or 60-second ad will be heard live on SoFloRadio.com during the day and will be downloaded thousands of times a day on SoFloRadio.com, as well as being heard on our free podcasts on iTunes. Wi-Fi radio and Bluetooth are now available with BMW, Ford, GM Cars and Trucks. Don't get left behind. Contact SoFloRadio.com for details and our very affordable rates. SoFloRadio.com. Stay ahead of the game.
Hi, this is George. You know, trying to get laid all day makes me hungry, so I go to Power Smoothie in Aventura and get the healthiest wraps and most delicious smoothies ever made. I mean, really, the smoothies are so insanely delicious, they're orgasmic. The staff is friendly there and cute. The food is healthy and real, not processed. This is not fast food, it's good food served fast. And they love me there. They even let me create my own smoothie, the Malted Jorge. Go in and ask for one. They're in the Promenade Shops right off of US 1 in Aventura, or call them at 305-792-5338. You can also visit them online at powersmoothieaventura.com.
The O and Frank Noodles Show.
So how do people actually do it, males, in the region?
Nah, see, I don't.
Dude, if you say you had that much pain on your arm and legs, that's unacceptable. At that point, something's going on.
I don't go to that level though. I trim with a little machine, bro. You know
little buzzer?
Little buzzer. It buzz down there, a little manscape. And we're good to go. Hey, bro, you got a Manscaped nowadays. No chick wants to go down there and, you know what I'm saying, feel hairs.
No, that's terrible.
That's
and
terrible.
neither do we, so you got, it goes both ways, right?
It goes both ways, brother. You know what I'm saying? Some chicks go down there, you got hair, and they're like, whoa, wait, let me come back up.
Hold on, cowboy.
Yeah.
Exactly.
The O and Frank Noodles Show, Tuesday evenings from 6 to 8 p.m. only on SoFloRadio.com. You are tuned in to the O and Frank Noodles Show.
My name's Noah Jaybird. Noah Jaybird? Oh, you like to fly. What's your name, baby? They call me Soul Baby. Soul Baby? Yeah. Keep it in control, baby. Tears, no fears, man. Oh, is that right? Respect it, don't neglect it. All right, my brother. Treat it, don't beat him. All right, baby.
On SoFloRadio.com.
Yo, badass mother.
We them boys. We them boys. We making noise. We them boys.
Them Dodger boys are up 1-0. Top of the sixth. They just scored. Matt Kemp into a double play. Couple of guys on the corners. Guy on third scores, and Hanley Ramirez is at a bat. The Dodgers didn't start Yasiel Puig today. I know that Noodles probably doesn't know about that, but
why not?
Well, he's been off a little bit lately, and they decided to start Ethier. Matty League said that was the best thing for the team to get a victory today. When I heard about it, I was like, you got to be effing kidding me. You didn't start Yasiel Puig, and basically it was an elimination game for the Dodgers.
That's ridiculous.
But I started to look at things, and I'm like, Ethier, but I would still start Puig. That's me, but whatever.
Watch him bring them in as a pinch hitter.
Yeah, he's going to hit a home run in the 8th inning.
Yeah.
The thing is that he struck out 7 times in a row, and he just swings at the ball every time to kill it. And yeah, he's not playing for the better of the team is what he's doing. He's coming up to bat every time, just trying to hit a home run because they hit him in the first game, and he's trying to get revenge. And he just got to understand, you got to go out there and roll with the punches.
Oh, that's what he's probably trying to do. He's probably trying to reel him back in.
Yeah. I think so, and we'll see what happens. He knows he's having a little bit off, but right now Kershaw's on 4 days rest. He's given 6 innings here. Well, he's given 5 innings of work. And so far, so good. He's Jose Lewis 0, but his gas tank's a little low today.
3 days rest.
3 days rest.
Yeah, he pitched Friday. Saturday, Sunday,
Friday.
Monday.
Yeah, so this is his 4th day. Then, yeah, they're right, 3 days rest. So we'll see what happens. I'm pretty sure the Dodgers soon are going to have someone up in the bullpen. And they're going to little baseball talk. You know, I'm excited for the ALCS. I love the fact that the Baltimore Orioles and Kansas City are going to play for a berth to go to the World Series. I mean, these two teams haven't been in the World Series in a long, long time.
I'm putting for the Royals right now.
Yeah, like the Royals. They're a little scrappy team.
The Royals have become America's team.
Right?
Everybody's rooting for them.
They have this guy Butler. He looks like he just had like 9 beers, comes up to bat. they have a disaster of a team. Like everybody out there is just rugged. But I like them. They're a scrappy ball club, very fast on the bases, get a lot of steals. And they play very good defense.
I've heard a few people compare them to the 2003 Marlins. What do you think of that comparison?
I mean, yeah, I could see it. I mean, the 2003 Marlins were a team where, yeah, I mean, they didn't have that much. They didn't have that much speed. They had good pitching, is what they had. Really good pitching. Just the Royals play. You know, they play little. They play what we call little man game of baseball. They bunch you over. They steal bases. They put pressure on you.
Got a ton of speed.
They just play that little game of baseball. And they have what the Royals have is that if they get to the 7th inning, they have 3 guys in the bullpen that is lights out. So if they're winning 2-1 in the 7th inning, you can close. That's it. Bye. Go home. That's their bullpen. They're legit. So I do like the Royals a lot, even though the Orioles are no fluke of a team, and they don't have Manny Machado. They don't have Davis, and those are 2 of their top players, and they're still winning games. And Buck Showalter's done an amazing job of keeping that team together.
Frank, you like the Royals?
I like the Royals, man, but the Orioles are serious this year, bro. They're like, enough is enough, and they got a strong team, man. They're ready to go. But I do like the Royals, and I started falling in love with the Royals probably like the last 2 weeks of the season. That Oakland game where they came back from the 5 runs down was amazing. And I saw a game the other night, I think it was on Friday night, that it was like the 11th inning, and Hosmer ended up hitting the game-winning home run. amazing. Like every time I watch this team, like I get entertained.
Listen, I'm not really a baseball guy, but I'll tell you that the best playoffs of any sports is baseball.
Hands down.
And yeah, it's not even a comparison. And that wild card game that they added, that single wild card game, that is awesome, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's it gives the playoffs like a kickstart because
Exactly.
right away it's one elimination and then you get into the series.
Right, it puts urgency into the game, which you don't have. I mean, you have to play 162 games.
And then for all of a sudden one game to mean everything.
So one game to mean, which is awesome. I mean, it's amazing.
But the Royals manager Ned Yost, he managed that game to lose it. Because he pulled Shields out way too early. Like, he kind of pulled them out early. He was saying, all right, we're going to save you for later on in the playoffs. And you never know what's going to happen. They almost blew it. So it kind of looked like he was kind of managing for Oakland at the time.
That's one of the comparisons that they're bringing up with the 2003 Marlins, where Jack McKeon made all the wrong moves and it worked out. So
that's the thing that bothers me about the playoffs in baseball, because in the regular season, the manager's really not involved in the game because the manager doesn't mean so much in baseball like it does in football and basketball, other strategy kind of games. But then when the playoff time comes, it's like the manager tries to do too much because he feels too important. So you end up seeing decisions like the one that Yost did.
Correct.
Yeah, talking about decisions, and Frank, I don't know if you saw, our producer Frank, I don't know if you saw the game between the Washington Nationals the other day and San Francisco where Zimmerman pitched 8 2/3, and he walks a guy on what could have been questionable outside pitches that could have been called strikes. And Matt Williams comes out and takes him out of the game and brings in his closer. I don't know, man. I did you see that?
Yeah, at that point, you just have to let him just finish it out, man. Like, you walk one guy. That's the same thing happened with Shields, though. Like, dude, this guy's wheeling and dealing. And then all of a sudden, he walks one guy. He's like, no, that's it. Let's get you out of there.
Yeah, and it wasn't like he threw 4 balls that were, like, all over the place. I mean, the 2 first pitches were borderline strikes.
Yeah.
I mean, it could have gone either way. The guy still was throwing 90+. His breaking ball was sharp. He takes him out and they tie the game up. And I'm like, dude, listen, I can never second guess a guy who's making millions and has played baseball like Matt Williams has in his career. But at that point in time, I was like, I think I would have left him in.
Yeah, you let the guy. I mean, he's pitched that well
for 8 2/3. He has one out left.
Right.
And the guy comes and takes him out. And he only threw like 90-something pitches at that point. He still has another. I mean, arguably, you could say 15, 20 pitches
It's what
left.
Frank says. The manager's outthinking themselves.
Bro, Shields had 66 pitches when they pulled him out. And he was grooving. And all of a sudden, he walked one man. Dude, it came back to bite him in the ass because 3 pitches later, it was a 3-run shot.
No, and Shields is a guy that as the game goes on, he gets better. He's the pitcher. You got to catch him early.
Well, that's the reason why they brought him in to be the Royals' ace, because of situations like that.
Correct.
So you have a situation, the reason why you brought this guy in, and then all of a sudden you're going to throw it away by sitting him down a little too early, questionable.
Yeah, you got.
So he dodged a bullet on that one.
So I have a question for Frank.
Okay.
Harbaugh, you rather have him coach the Raiders or the Dolphins?
Well, I think Stephen Ross still has a Woody on for him.
Yeah.
That's a good way of saying it.
Yeah. I think Stephen Ross still has a Woody on for him.
Let's keep it real. If the Dolphins have what we say an average normal Dolphin season, we all feel that Philbin will be gone.
I think Philbin is gone regardless.
Fair enough.
I think he's gone.
Harbaugh's there. If Harbaugh's there, I mean, I think he's going to throw the kitchen sink at him. He's going to be like, listen, take whatever you want. But here's the thing. Harbaugh is, number one, a West Coast guy. All right. He likes coaching out there. So, I mean, just coming to Miami, and though I think he kind of left a bad taste in Harbaugh's mouth already from the first time of what happened with Sperano. Remember, while Sperano was still hired, he went out and spoke to him with Jeff Ireland. It was all over the media. He embarrassed Tony Sperano. Yeah. I mean, it was a mess, typical Dolphin mess. Okay, so if you look right now at the way Stephen Ross does business, you're kind of like, you know what I'm saying? The only thing that can save us here is that Tannehill has a great year, and that is Harbaugh's selling point. I have a good young quarterback there that I think I can groom and bring up, which I think will be the best thing that could happen to Tannehill if you get Harbaugh down here, because look at what he did with Alex Smith and how he got Kaepernick, which was basically a quarterback that came out of nowhere that no one had heard of, and he turned them into what he turned them into. So,
I mean,
it wasn't like Kaepernick was tearing up NCAA.
Right.
He was playing in Nevada.
Came from an unknown school.
Good quarterback. And
right.
his conference, but not. Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Right.
No one that was like, oh, this guy's gonna blow up. No.
So if he comes down here, he can. I think he'll be great for Tannehill. So I mean, it's intriguing. It definitely is. I just think that it's a long shot for him to come down here because I would either go to the Raiders or I would go to Michigan. And God knows what other opportunities are going to open up. I mean, there's going to be other teams that fire coaches.
A lot.
I mean, look.
if I am the owner of a team or the president of a team and I have an open position as a head coach, I'm going to ask if Jim Harbaugh is interested.
Look, you put Harbaugh. I mean, nothing's going to happen because it's a very cheap team and they never like to overspend and they keep everything at a minimum. But if you put Jim Harbaugh right now in the Cincinnati Bengals, that team's going to Super Bowl. That's what they're missing right now. Because Marvin Lewis is not the guy that's going to kill you with adjustments. He's just he just hasn't been shown to be that kind of coach.
I'm surprised he's been coached there as long as he has.
Well, because the Bengals are a team that they keep all their expenses to a minimum. They don't have a general manager. The general manager of the team is the owner, which is the owner's son, Paul Brown, or whatever the hell his name is, Mike Brown. That's the GM of the team. All right, and they just don't spend like that. They just try to keep it at a minimum, make the team competitive, and hope that we sell as many tickets as possible.
Yeah, Marvin Lewis has been the head coach of Cincinnati for
close to a
10
decade, right?
years,
Probably, that's what I was going to check right now.
He's probably, along with Belichick, probably the longest tenured coach in the NFL.
Wow.
He's been there, I think, since like 1999 or something like that.
Yeah. And they've always been like, they're good, but not flashy.
They get into the playoffs and lose.
They get in, Chad Johnson, how these guys.
Right. They're kind of relevant, but not really.
Correct.
They never bring it over the top.
Correct.
It's just kind of just there.
Yeah. He's a good coach, but he's not a great coach.
Right.
He's been there this is his 11th season with Cincinnati.
So he started what, 2002?
2003.
2000, okay.
That's a good point. It's a very good point. So we're almost against the break, so we're going to set it up for the next hour. The next hour, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to talk about UM football. And it's not going to be pretty because the UM football isn't pretty. So it's going to be ugly talk, but we have to do it because we are always going to talk about UM football here.
The team formerly known as the U.
As a U. Now we're
the Rutgers.
Yeah. More or less. So you're listening to the O and Frank Noodles Show on SoFloRadio.com. We'll see you guys on the other side.
SoFloRadio.com and SoFloTelevision.com.
Strawberry patching smoothie.
Get your hands off me.
Huh?
I said don't touch me.
I shouldn't have went to that party last night. Now I'm seeing talking fruit.
You're not dreaming, Bubba, and you're not putting me in that blender.
But you're just a fruit.
Who you calling a fruit?
You are. You're a delicious passion fruit.
Why, sure, I'm passionate. How would you like to be blended, huh? I got right, you know.
Customers waiting. You gotta go.
Yeah, but wait, you
At Power Smoothie in Aventura, we show fruit no mercy. Always fresh, always delicious. To make the best smoothies and wraps on earth, try our new cilantro lime-alicious wrap or our hot chipotle chicken. Power Smoothie in Aventura, located just north of the Aventura Mall in the Promenade Shops. Or call 305-792-5338. Open 7 days a week.
The Amigo Show with Larry Million.
Yeah, I said it. Michael Jordan was the biggest thing in the NBA. LeBron is the biggest thing in the NBA. Same type of star. I'm not going to argue who's better today. And you look at that, right, Frank? And I remember Jordan. Like, I rooted against Jordan. You know why I rooted against Jordan? Whoa! My voice went soprano. Oh my God.
No, what I meant to say was do you know why I root against?
You have failed.
That's what I was trying to say.
The Amigo Show, Saturday mornings from 9 to noon, only on SoFloRadio.com.
SoFloRadio.com is the exclusive radio home of the Fort Lauderdale Strikers Football Club. Listen for every corner kick, penalty kick, save, and goal on SoFloRadio.com.
To Anderson, the save by whoa, the save by Gorick, but the putback by Darnell King, and the Strikers are up 2-0.
Silverman on Sports host Bruce Silverman brings you the play-by-play. SoFloRadio.com, bringing you every Striker home game, starting live at 7:30. SoFlo Radio. Talk, music, sports. SoFloRadio.com.
You are tuned in to the O and Frank Noodles Show.
Now, you guys mind telling me what you're doing with my little green pal over there?
On SoFloRadio.com.
Who the heck is that? Wayne Gretzky? On steroids?
It's like gold dust. You hear me coming through your speakers. You see me mashing up your airwaves. I know you can't get enough of my sound.
Just in case you guys are actually on the road listening to us, little update. I believe the Dodgers are up 2-0. They just called out Ethier on third base on a pickoff play. I think I'm trying to watch the game and do the radio show at the same time. So
It was a pass ball, and Molina went back to the screen and then threw him out.
went to replay and they called him out. So the Dodgers are up 2-0. And I'm here on the edge of my seat hoping the Dodgers can pull it off. We're going to talk a little UM football. And yeah, we suck. I mean, basically that's all I can say. But look, I've defended Golden here in the past. Frank Noodles has told me that he needs to go, and I'm kind of like, I gotta give the guy a shot, whatever. Blah. You know what? He needs to go, and I'm not even talking about X's and O's. I'm talking about now his attitude in the post-game conference.
Yeah, he's an asshole.
And the way he's acting, like blaming the kids sometimes. Yo, you need to stand up there once and just say, you know what? I sucked as a head coach. My staff sucked as a head coach.
He won't do that.
And we didn't do a good job of putting our kids in the right position to make plays. Maybe he should watch a Tomlin press conference or post-game conference from the Steelers where that man stands up there and says, I blew it. It's on me today.
No, and that whole thing of like, what is it that he said? We've had too many primetime games.
Yeah, too many night games.
Nighttime games.
Are you kidding me, bro?
I didn't know about that until he told me that.
Yeah, like, are you really a UM coach?
Yeah.
Is that what we have
Bro,
here right now?
night games are supposed to be fun. Like, all eyes are on you at the time. There's no sun. There's no heat to deal with. And this is what I was telling Omar before the show. Because we're getting worn out by the second half. So if we're getting worn out in the second half on night games, how are we supposed to play 12 o'clock games?
We're getting worn out. You know why? Because they're running the ball on us. And
Yeah,
they're
right down our throat.
kicking our ass. When you run the ball on a team, that you annihilate them.
It demoralizes you in the third and fourth quarter. You can't stop it.
You can't stop
And
it.
It's like you're just bleeding to death slowly. 3 yards, 4 yards, third and three, first down.
Yeah.
I mean, what?
Georgia Tech told us that they were going to run the ball every play. They said it on Friday.
Nebraska did that to us.
Right, and Georgia Tech, Coach Johnson came out and said, we are going to run the ball every play. If they can't stop our run, we will beat Miami. And they threw the ball, 9 times the entire night?
Dude, listen to this stat right here, okay? Georgia Tech converted 11 of 16 third and fourth down chances.
That's crazy.
Okay? Of the 9 players who carried the ball for Georgia Tech, each recorded a carry of 8 yards or more.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous.
So they were giving the ball to guys who sit on the bench. Hey, go get 8 yards.
On a team that runs the wishbone, which you know are going to run the ball. I mean, and Golden's attitude towards this. I mean, listen, they're not going to fire him right now. He's not going to get fired.
And would you say that his contract is what, to 2016 or something?
2019.
2019.
He's not going to get right now. Right now, it just has to make financial sense. And what I think they're going to do is they're going to let him interview for other jobs.
Let's get Harbaugh.
Yeah. Oh, I mean. I mean, I wish, but
let's get a jet, fly over there, and kidnap him.
I think what's going to happen right now, because listen, what's come out right now, none of the alumni are happy, none of the ex-players are happy, and that has to start putting pressure on the people in charge of this. So I think what's going to happen is with Shalala on the way out at the end of the year, they're going to ride this out, and I mean, they're going to take the criticism, which this year is going to be an absolute disaster because I see them losing another 3-4 games.
Well, we were talking about that off the air before the show, myself and Frank, our producer. And look, they play Cincinnati this week. Then they play at Virginia Tech.
Okay.
On a Thursday night game.
I want to see if Frank says exactly what I said.
So Cincinnati, we already have ours.
Cincinnati, loss.
Okay.
Virginia Tech
at Blacksburg,
loss.
North Carolina,
where here?
No, yeah, it is here.
I'm gonna say loss.
Florida State,
loss.
At Virginia,
maybe. Well, not even.
Virginia did beat Louisville that we lost.
Well,
I mean, we can't play that game, but
they're
not a scrub team anymore.
They're not. I mean, that's not here nor there. I don't even know. I'm neutral on that one.
And Pittsburgh here.
Okay, we might win that one.
That's the only W I said too.
Yeah.
Everything else is a loss.
Everything else.
So what does that put us at? 4 and what do you have? 4 and 8.
4 and 8.
Jesus Christ! I mean,
I put them at beating either North Carolina or Virginia. And
oh my God!
Well, listen,
winning 2 out of the 5.
If you're a Hurricane fan, as terrible as this must sound, the best thing would happen for them just to lose out. That way, they're forced to make a change. Because I mean, at this point, I mean, what else can you root for? Because I'm not rooting for this coaching staff. I hate them at this point. I mean, I haven't liked D'Onofrio since he came here. And on the second game that he coached, I knew he was un muerto. All right? If you listen to my phone calls that I've been calling radio shows for 10 years, 4 years ago, I called out Mark D'Onofrio's name before anybody knew who his name was. And I said that guy was a cancer. And look, it's turned to fruition. I have never seen a defensive coordinator as sorry as this big, and then this guy come out and defend him over and over, and then blame the kids. All right,
that's where I have a problem with this.
Yeah,
totally.
blame the kids.
Cannot blame these kids. Man.
In that Nebraska game, we could have won that game. That was a great effort by those kids.
Yes, they played their asses off.
And that's the thing. It's not our offense. It's all defense. Like, nobody's talking about our offense because we have a bright future right now with Kaya and Yerby and everybody past Duke. Because, if I was Duke Johnson, I'm out this year.
Yeah.
Like, straight up.
Yeah, forget it. I'm not staying here.
I'm not staying here. And with the pieces that we have, the young pieces that we have coming up, we have good pieces for our offense. It's the defensive scheme. And these coaching staff is drenched in arrogance. Like, they don't want to just step back for one moment and say, look, we screwed up. We need to change. No, because to them, the scheme is great. It's the students, and it's not like that.
I don't know.
Golden says it. We didn't.
I think
look, the Duke. I'm sorry, but the Duke game, they said that the reason why we won was because we were gang tackling more and we were executing better tackling. Bro, there was a lot more blitz packages shown that game, and there was a lot more man-to-man that they've played in any other game. So what changed? The tackling, or did the scheme adjust a little bit?
You want me to tell you what happened in the Duke game? The quarterback for Duke sucked. He was
bad.
Terrible. All right, that's the only reason we won that game. Had nothing to do with the scheme or the tackling or any of the sort. The quarterback for Duke was horrific, all right, and could not hit water if he fell out of a boat. That's how bad that quarterback was.
These are things that Golden said that upset me. He said, Golden said he made minor tweaks Saturday, but in hindsight, wouldn't have changed the defensive alignment. This is the best way to play them, and in our opinion, to handle all the things they throw at you. Like, really?
That's the best way to play them, with two safeties sitting 7 yards back and they're on the 3-yard line about to score?
Like, it doesn't make any sense.
Listen, I give Jason Whitlock credit because he said it before they hired Al Golden. He says that Al Golden was nothing, that the UM was going to be disappointed. And basically what happened here is that he basically had to go through that entire part of the sanctions. Okay, and we really didn't look at the coaching because we gave him an excuse for 3 years is what we did. We're like, oh, okay, so he's losing. Oh, he's in sanctions right now. He's weathering it out with us. We're not really going to look at the coaching. You don't have that excuse anymore, all right? That's it. The sun is on you, brother. We can see everything clearly.
Yeah, the cloud's gone.
It's gone.
Well, he's got talent.
And you have talent as well. And for him to be as arrogant as he's being in those press conferences and the way he's approaching, it almost feels like he wants to get fired with this contract. It almost feels like, all right, whatever. I'm signed here in 2019. I do whatever I want. And if you want, fire me because I'll still collect the money.
Still get paid.
I'll still get paid.
You walked in here, and I gave you a lot of credit from the moment you walked in here today. And I'm going to give you credit on something else. You know what? You're right. He says all the right things. And he has, like, put us into this trance that, oh, we're in love with our coach. He says all the right things. The brick by brick. I was thinking about it 2 days ago. The whole brick by brick thing. We're starting brick by brick. You know, we have to start the foundation. Bro, all that was the right thing to say, and we all fell in love with the mumbo jumbo that came out of this guy's mouth.
I fell in love with it too.
Yeah.
Everybody fell in love with Golden because he was such a great interview.
Nice haircut, the tie, clean-cut guy, great face to the program.
Yeah.
Tremenda mierda.
Yeah, he just, when it comes down to it, he has no idea what he's doing as a football coach.
That's the key. He's actually a good recruiter because when he sits in your living room, he's going to sell you the way he sold us.
Correct.
But when it comes down to playing on that field and the X's and O's,
he doesn't know what he's doing.
He has really no idea what he's doing to be coaching at that level of football.
And I mean, I think that you need, at this point, you just ride this out till Shalala goes. That way you start fresh and clean from the beginning. Get rid of Shalala. You put another president in there, all right, that's going to have more of an angle for it being a football school. Because right now, UM doesn't aim for that. They want to be a medical school first, and then the athletics come, which is fine. It's a school. But right down here in Miami, we care a lot about football. And that U is a brand that we believed in and followed since we were kids. So we want that back. So I think you need to get a new president. You need to get a new coach and a total new direction for the program. And listen, right now, Greg Schiano's out there. All right. I don't know if Butch Davis wants to come back.
I don't want Schiano here.
But he has UM ties, though.
Yeah, but I think he's an awful coach.
Okay, Mario, why? Look at what he did with Rutgers.
With Rutgers, but that's the only thing we've really seen him do.
Okay, but the thing is that he took his college style to the NFL and it didn't work.
No, I know.
Okay,
I know.
So that style works in college. You have Greg Schiano, you got Butch Davis, Mario Cristobal.
I would love to see Cristobal here.
A good friend of mine just sent me a message about Cristobal. He's actually a guy that I've met. I met him once at FIU. Right. But listen, he's got energy and he's passionate.
Things didn't end well here with Cristobal as he left, because remember, he was assistant coach one day, and then before you know it, he went to Alabama to be the recruiting coordinator. Right. But the dude can recruit and the dude can coach, and the dude has UM blood.
Listen, but as a coach here in UM, all right, because of the hotbed that we are as a high school football for Dade County, Broward, Palm Beach, Naples, the entire south of Florida is such a hotbed for high school football that as a UM coach, you really don't need to go far, all right? Other teams and coaches in other cities have to come here to recruit players, all right? The players are here already, so you really don't need to go far. All you need to do is know how to coach a little bit and have ties to the high school teams down here, all right? It really doesn't take much because that's the process that we followed when we had Dennis Erickson, Jimmy Johnson. I mean, all those coaches throughout the entire run, all they did was recruit here. And we've gotten away from that.
Yeah, I mean, Schnellenberger started it.
Right.
Going into the inner cities. And then Jimmy Johnson followed the track. Because Jimmy Johnson wasn't a Miami guy. Remember, the dude came from Oklahoma.
Yeah.
But he followed, look, this was the formula that was winning here. We're going to continue it. And he did continue it.
He followed what Schnellenberger did, which is the state of the U. Right. And you recruit everything down south of Orlando.
Okeechobee, right.
Everything. I mean, and this is the hotbed for high school football in the United States. So you don't need to go far. It's listen, and it's not the job that it used to be, because this used to be the #1 college football job in the nation. Not the case anymore. You have all those teams in the SEC, so forth and so forth. But I think this is still a good job.
It is a good job, and I think the program could be brought back to a top 10, program in the country. But it's going to take a lot of things besides a new coach, I'll be honest. There's a lot of variables there. The stadium, academic standards have to be dropped.
But somebody was on the radio this week, and they were talking about, because a lot of the excuses of the fans are, look at the facilities that Oregon has, and look at this. Miami never had any facility. Miami was always real rugged. Miami was always the kids that came here were kids that wanted to prove themselves and wanted to play for Miami. It wasn't about the glamour. It wasn't about this and that. Excuses like, the Orange Bowl gone. There's there's no place to play
Listen,
now. Those are all excuses at the end of the day.
The Orange Bowl was, I mean, as much as we loved it because it was our stadium and the best place to watch football, that wasn't a good facility.
No, it wasn't.
That was piss.
It was a dump. It was a dump.
Piss infested.
Yeah.
But the times have changed. And in reference to the stadium, yes, it's not even so much about the stadium that it has to look like these new stadiums they do nowadays. It's just the most college stadiums don't have, even in Alabama, most of your seats are just benches. I don't know if you guys have noticed that.
Right.
So we're just talking about the environment in the stadium. When you talk about like Oregon and stuff like that, times have changed. Nowadays, these kids are all about that. It's all about that status. I mean, think about it. Oregon has a new uniform every game.
Every game.
Okay? If you go to universities like UF, Florida State, Alabama, their weight rooms, their athletic facilities are better than some NFL teams. And that's impressive to a kid that's 18, 19 years old. So back in the days, what drew a lot of the players that were in high school to UM was because the players from here were going to the NFL. If you wanted to go to the NFL, you went to UM. It was a way that getting there, even some of the guys who didn't start here, that were backups, were getting drafted in the second, third round and making rosters and having careers in the NFL. And you're right. I've been to the facilities. We've been to the facilities before. And we walked in one day, me and you were like, what the heck is this? I mean, it's terrible. It's actually embarrassing that a university has won so many national championships, has facilities like that. And that same day that I saw that, I went home and I Googled Michigan. Back then, it was about 8-9 years ago. I Googled most Big Ten schools and some SEC schools, and their facilities are outrageous compared to ours on campus. On campus. So
well, you need. I mean, here's the thing. UM football brought a lot of money to that university.
Oh, absolutely. It's
made them relevant.
Exactly. People know University of Miami because of what?
Because of the football team. Because of the football team. Melvin Bratton said it. If they would have done what they did in other schools like in Alabama or in Oklahoma, they would have built statues of these guys. You know what I'm saying? They would have gotten national recognition and be known as legends. But because they were known as Thug U and the under, you know what I'm saying? Like they just couldn't, they didn't give them that recognition. So I think it's going to be interesting what happens here.
Absolutely. What's been interesting is college football. In a nutshell.
Oh, my God.
I mean, last week was just crazy. Bama losing.
The best week of the season so far.
Yeah, and Bama losing to Ole Miss. Oklahoma lost to TCU. Yeah. Texas A&M lost to Mississippi State. Oregon lost to Arizona. Talk about Arizona. Rich Rodriguez gets kicked out of Michigan, basically. I mean, they booted him out of there. Okay?
Right.
They almost tried to embarrass him. And now he has Arizona, one of the top teams in the nation, and playing fantastic football.
Well, that tells you that the landscape of college football has changed. I mean, Michigan used to be this powerhouse before. I don't think that they're attracting kids like they used to.
No, absolutely not. They're not. Listen, the student athlete right now that's in high school that has any type of football talent
is going to
play the SEC. That's it. Bottom line. Or they might peek into the Big 12. Like Baylor, Texas, or they might go to USC, but you want to play in the SEC. That's it.
Yeah, the Pac-12 is not doing it anymore.
It's not. And you have a couple of schools there like Stanford, Oregon, USC that they'll get talent from the West Coast.
Right.
But any kid that has any talent, they want to play predominantly in the SEC. They'll sprinkle a couple kids to Notre Dame. Ohio State will get a couple kids.
Not even.
But I'm just saying a couple here and there. But the predominantly is, well, where can I play? Which one is it? Is it UF, Alabama, Auburn, Texas A&M, Mississippi, Tennessee? What school is it? Where am I going? You know, and it's just, dude, the SEC is dominating college football. Where I personally think, look, this weekend, for example, you have Auburn's playing Mississippi State, I believe, at 3:30.
Mm-hmm.
That's the second-ranked team in the country against Mississippi State, the third-ranked team in the country. One of those teams is going to lose.
Correct.
So I have a feeling that for sure we're going to have at least one lost team end up making what they call, I guess, the Final Four.
Don't be surprised if it's not
two
right?
Teams that get in there.
Or no, I was going to say, don't be surprised if there's a 2-loss team in there as well.
Yeah, a team that gets to the championship and loses like an Auburn, let's say.
Like SEC champion.
Yeah.
Actually, that would somebody from the Power 5 conferences.
I think Alabama loses again this year.
Probably.
Yeah.
They don't look good.
Not they don't look good. They just don't look dominant like
Their
they used
defense,
to. Like.
their defense is not the defense they've had in years past.
They just don't look dominant. They don't look like they overpower you like they used to. You know, it just doesn't look the same.
Do you agree with Colin that their dynasty's over?
No, you can't say that.
Their dynasty is on the way down. I'm not ready to say that yet. I just think that, okay, Alabama had a loss last year when they lost to Auburn on that field goal. That loss felt to me kind of like that Hurricane loss in 2001 when they lost to Ohio State. That loss to me felt like when the Yankees were up 3-0 and the Red Sox came back. The program and Nick Saban have never felt the same after that loss. So, I mean, they're still going to bring the recruiting. The recruits are going to go there, and Nick Saban's going to have that team ready. But, I mean, the landscape has completely changed. Completely. Look, Ole Miss is stronger now. Look at this guy at Texas A&M. They thought Manziel left. That team is bringing the heat again, brother.
Yeah, they're loaded. He's got talent. He's recruiting not only in the SEC region, but he's recruiting in Texas, who's one of the best states for football.
That's another big game this weekend. Texas A&M plays Ole Miss.
They do, yeah.
Florida State, I mean, you have all these teams that are up
That's
and
another
coming.
That's another team, though. Florida State hasn't looked dominant either. Florida State's defense is weak, and they kind of have an easy schedule to help them get to the playoffs. Which is going to be the first real time they're tested this year.
I'm gonna be honest with you.
I think Florida State hasn't. I think Florida State hasn't turned it on yet.
They're gonna be tested in 2 weeks when they play Notre Dame. They better bring their big boy pants on, because I know you're not a Notre Dame fan, but look at it in the perspective of football. Notre Dame is well coached, they are disciplined, and they have talent. They have talent. They're not a bad football team, and they will be there in the fourth quarter.
Absolutely, but I don't think they're a better team than Florida State. And I think that Florida State is it's a young team.
They're on cruise control.
That has a big head from winning the national title, and they're still haven't. I don't think the season has synced into them yet, and they're getting away with it because they're that good. But I think once this team finally turns it on, I think forget it.
Dude, they dodged a huge bullet with Clemson out. They dodged, against Clemson. Huge bullet.
Yeah,
they should have lost.
Well, if Clemson would have played the freshman quarterback from the beginning of the game, who's actually that kid's really good, they probably would have had a chance to win.
They left like 17 points on the field. The kicker missed like 3 field goals.
If they would have had a kicker, they would have won that game.
And a couple touchdown passes that were underthrown and one overthrown.
Yeah, pretty bad. So the Dodgers are still up 2-0. They're throwing Kershaw back out there. They're going to see how long they can go with him, because I know their bullpen's terrible. At this point in time, you pitch Kershaw as much as possible.
In the bottom of the 7th.
If you want to call in the show, 954-990-0036. You're listening to the O and Frank Noodles Show on SoFloRadio.com.
SoFloRadio.com and SoFloTelevision.com.
Hey, South Florida. Frank Fernandez here from the Frank Fernandez Show, and I'm here to tell you about The Last Carrot in Coconut Grove. Now, I've been able to eat whatever I want all my life, and I've never had any consequences to think about. But now as I'm getting older, I'm starting to see the effects and the importance in having healthy foods. Well, The Last Carrot is the place to go for a healthy treat. They have a full smoothie bar with fruits which are cut right in front of your eyes. And have I said delicious? Man, I picked up a mango banana smoothie the other day, which was not only delicious, but refreshing with a boost of natural energy. The Last Carrot also offers a variety of fresh veggie sandwiches on whole wheat pitas, fresh salads, and spinach pies. The best part of it all, it's in the heart of the Grove. So after you have your meal, you can take a nice stroll and enjoy the shops of historic Coconut Grove. So come on down to The Last Carrot, and don't forget to tell them Frank Fernandez sent you, so you can receive that SoFlo Radio discount and have some good, healthy eating. The Last Carrot is located on 3133 Grand Avenue in Coconut Grove, Florida, 33133.
Return the favor. Return the favor. Return the favor. Return the favor. Return the favor with their debut release, Picture This. Featuring You Have My Attention. Go to Facebook.com/Return the Favor. Picture This. Return the Favor. Available on iTunes. SoFloRadio.com is the exclusive radio home of the Fort Lauderdale Strikers Football Club. Listen for every corner kick, penalty kick, save, and goal on SoFloRadio.com.
To Anderson, the save. Whoa! The save by Gorick, but the putback by Darnell King. And the Strikers are up 2-0.
Silverman on Sports host Bruce Silverman brings you the play-by-play. SoFloRadio.com, bringing you every Striker home game, starting live at 7:30. SoFlo Radio. Talk, music, sports. SoFloRadio.com.
You are tuned in to the O and Frank Noodles Show
Guys, we didn't come here for no reason. I said, guys, this is ours, man.
on SoFloRadio.com.
Those men looked me in my eye and they said, we got this, Jameis. And I said, I said, are you strong? They said, I'm strong if you strong. And I said, we strong, man.
You held my hand and took me right back down to hell. I have an angel on my shoulder, but a devil in my head.
2-0 Dodgers. Bottom of the 7th inning. Kershaw has about 100 pitches. I think he's good for about 110, 115 on 3 days rest. I don't know. Holding on to the edge of my seat here. There's a man on first. Is that am I seeing there? I'm getting old.
You're right. No outs. Man on first.
No outs, man on first. Yeah, the Cardinals are up. They're making noise here. We're gonna shoot the Cardinals down. The Dodgers. So let's take a little college football. Chatting here with Frank Noodles and our producer Frank. He's got a show tomorrow from 6 to 7. The Asylum here on SoFloRadio.com. And I'm looking here at the top 10 teams in the college football polls and rankings. And obviously Florida State is 1. Auburn is 2. Mississippi State is 3. Ole Miss is 4 or 5. Whatever. They're 3 or 4. They're tied there. I don't know what the hell's going on there. Baylor's 5. Notre Dame is 6. Alabama 7. Michigan State 8. TCU 9. And Arizona 10. So there's one team here that I think is going to sneak in. And I like them. I like the Sparties. I like Michigan State. I think there's one of those teams that they're going to do well if they can win the Big Ten championship, which I think they will. And there'll be one loss, but they might get in. Their one loss was against Oregon at Oregon in a game that they had the lead, and then it kind of got away from them a little bit there at the end, and they lost. But they played them relatively well. And that's a team. If you're going to lose, you lose to Oregon, and Oregon, hey, you take that. It's not a bad loss.
Oregon looks like they've lost a little bit of spunk. They're not as high powered as they used to be. I don't know if it has to do with Chip Kelly leaving or people have just caught on to their whole system, but it just doesn't look as high powered as it used to be before, where it was a track meet, the game. They would just put it on you.
No, they would put 60 points on you and
like in no time.
Yeah,
by the third quarter, you were done.
You didn't know what happened.
And right now, they're scoring into the 30s, high 20s. It's not as high powered as it was before.
So the Dodgers now are in troubles, man, on first and second. And, Madden League before this inning went to Kershaw and kind of spoke to him. And I guess he let him back out there to pitch. And he'll be second guessed if he doesn't get out of this inning like they did in game 1, where he let him stay in the game and the Cardinals scored a couple runs. So what a disaster. I can't even do the show with the Dodgers in this situation here, first and second. What's going on here? The wheels are coming off. So back to college football talk. Anyway, but yeah, I do think Michigan State's one of those teams that sneaks in. If Notre Dame can find a way to upset Florida State, Notre Dame probably has the toughest schedule in the whole country. I mean, they still got to play USC. They beat Stanford. They've played. Well, Michigan sucks. Oh, you got to be kidding me.
Oh, my. There goes your lead, buddy. 3-run shot right there for Matt Adams.
Matt Adams is a 3-run home run.
3-2.
Wow. You got to feel like crap if you're that dude, Kershaw. After giving up that 7-run lead in game 1.
Dude.
That's Kershaw?
Don Matting League is an asshole. Straight up. No, listen, bro. Listen, this guy's on 3 days rest, bro. He's giving you 6 innings of work. I mean.
Wow. All right.
What did I tell you guys? He's good for about 90-something pitches.
Well, there, pitch 101, gone.
Gone. I told you guys. This is ridiculous.
Pitch 102.
Well, the drama's on right now because
no outs.
We've lost Omar for the show.
Yeah. Oh no! Oh, now he comes out. Now he comes out. This guy's un muerto, bro. Horrible. Like I hope my dad is watching the game, which I'm pretty sure he is, and he's probably listening to me also, and he's probably saying the same exact thing. He knows it.
Mattingly the mush.
Like, why would he do that, dude? Whatever. I don't want to watch this anymore. So hopefully they can come back and win. So yeah, I think Notre Dame has a very tough schedule. I think they're gonna do very well. Baylor's undefeated. You can't sleep on Baylor.
What do you think about Nebraska?
Ay. You know what? Nebraska actually has a real good football team.
They have a really good defense. Abdullah, really strong running game.
They're underrated. They're underrated. They'll end up in the top 10 by the end of the year. Between them, Ohio State, and Michigan State, those three teams somehow are gonna battle it out, and the winner. So they gotta battle it out, and they'll play in the Big Ten championship game, and then see who goes from there. But I like Michigan State in the Big Ten.
I like Ole Miss. Ole Miss, I mean, really impressed me this week. I mean, they look powerful. I mean, it was just that dominance that they had on the front line with their defense, and the way their quarterback played really impressed me. How they were able to go blow for blow with Alabama was really impressive. Auburn.
I think Auburn's the best team in the country.
Yeah.
I think they're the best team in the country. Their offense is crazy good.
Texas A&M.
Strong at 5-1.
Yeah.
I mean, they're ranked right now, 14th or 15th, but I think they should be higher than that. Oklahoma's 4-1. They were a top 3 team in the country recently. Georgia's powerful. It's going to be interesting. There's still a lot of football to be played. I think out of the top teams, the only ones right now that are well, if Florida State beats Notre Dame, then they're probably going to cruise on the way to championship. I think Florida State and Auburn are your 2 top teams, and I think those 2 teams will stay at the top or will get into the Final Four. What is it called? Is it called the Final Four? What is that thing called?
I have no idea. We'll figure it out now as we go along, but I guess that's what it is.
I have a question, and maybe you guys can answer this for me. So 4 teams get in, correct?
Right.
Now, let's say those teams lose. Do they then play like in the Sugar Bowl? Like, how does that work?
I'll look it up for you. I actually saw it the other day.
Like, so if they lose, could they play again? Like, do they do a consolation game, or you lose and you're out?
I have no idea. I mean, that's a great question. I didn't think of that.
I was wondering that. Someone asked me that the other day, and I was like, don't know. I'll figure out for you. So I thought about it now.
Are they going to have the playoff games on the same day? Like, I'm curious to see how that's going to work out.
Yeah, there's a lot of questions for this.
I remember the way that I really liked the format that they had was that they used to put all the games on New Year's.
New Year's Day, right?
On New Year's Day. Every game was on starting like at 11 in the morning.
It was all day.
What happened?
What?
Money.
Yeah, money.
Because you remember, the Rose Bowl game was at 4 o'clock.
Right.
3:30, 4 o'clock game.
Right.
And you would catch, I think the early games were the Cotton Bowl.
I don't remember.
And the Gator Bowl. The Gator Bowl was always early. The Cotton
Gator
Bowl.
And then Rose Bowl game was like at 4 with another game. I think
the Orange Bowl game was at night.
And the Sugar Bowl game was at night. But then what happens is you're going back and forth. It's like Thursday night football. You don't know what to watch. The college game or the ridiculous product that they're showing now in the NFL on Thursday nights.
Now the bowl games start on Thanksgiving and end February 8th.
Yeah, you don't know what the hell's going on.
They're spread out.
There's like 90 games.
All over the place.
There's the Hurricanes, they got invited to a bowl game. When their records of 4-8.
Yeah, they're gonna lose. I mean, I have no idea what's gonna happen there with UM, bro.
No.
It's gonna be this is gonna be a train wreck this year.
Yeah, it's gonna be pretty bad, really bad. So, college football talk. I've had enough of that. I'm just right now not focused. I'm flustered with our my Dodgers.
Hey, I told you we lost them.
So I'm all over the place right now.
What I'm seeing is that the playoff game would be their bowl game, and if you win your playoff game, you advance to an extra bowl game.
Oh, so it'll be like so 2 teams play like in the Sugar, 2 teams play in the Orange, and then the winners play in the Fiesta Championship game. Let's say something like that, right?
Right. As of right now, they have Baylor and projected. They have Baylor and Auburn playing at the Sugar Bowl.
What's the date of that?
I don't have a date, but the projected is playoff. Auburn and Baylor at the Sugar Bowl, and at the Rose Bowl would be Florida State versus Ole Miss. So whoever loses is out, and whoever wins goes to play one more.
Yeah,
that's what it looks like right now.
And the championship game is not played in one of the bowl sites. it's actually going to be played like a Super Bowl, right? It's
That's correct.
It's at an off-site that's never really been, like, it's not going to, like, we have a chance to get it here, but I think the first one is going to be where the Cowboys play.
Actually, we have a chance right now to get one of the playoff games. We don't even have a chance right now to get a national championship game. And I believe that's going to come in like 2016, our first chance.
I don't want to see the first game of that here in Pro Player Stadium. I don't.
Well, it'll be a revamped Pro Player Stadium. Remember?
Yeah,
It's
all right.
revamped.
A roof on it.
Right. Well, I don't know if you guys saw the story a couple weeks back that it was built on a Tequesta graveyard.
I did see that.
Like,
What's that got to do with anything?
Are you serious?
Yeah, but what? Oh, so we suck because it was built on that ground?
You build something on an Indian graveyard? Let me ask you a question.
Yeah, but the Marlins won there, so that argument goes out the window.
Like, what's
okay, but football-wise?
Twice, too.
Okay, but here's the thing. All right, would you build your house that you live on an Indian
No, but
graveyard?
I sleep there.
Right.
Nobody sleeps. It's football. It's a stadium.
All right, bro. Well, I don't know. That place is horrific.
So you really do think?
I'm superstitious, brother.
That's hilarious.
I'm superstitious. I
So
really
the
think
Dolphins suck because they built it on whatever that's called.
Well, if you saw the article on it, ever since they started building that stadium, they've never won again. They went to the Super Bowl, and a year later is when they started building the stadium, and they've never been back since. And you had
they hooked up the Marlins to rub it into the Dolphins.
Exactly.
Awesome. That's a good story.
It is. It is.
So the gods came out and hooked up the Marlins. When Alex Gonzalez hit the home run down the left field line, they just kept it in the foul pole, right? Marlins win, rub it into the Dolphins, rub it in. We're in your stadium, and we're winning championships.
The Tequesta Indians like baseball. They don't like football.
What a disaster. Oh, my God, it's awesome.
Did you see that story or no?
Yeah, I saw it. I just really didn't like. I was like, okay, cool. So what? Who cares? We're playing football. Like, it shouldn't matter.
So you were right, by the way. AT&T doesn't get the first championship game, which is this year. In 2015, 2016, which would be 2016, we get a playoff semifinal, December 31st in the Orange Bowl.
Okay.
And right now there is no date set on us getting a championship game because they only have for the next 3 years.
Yeah, they're gonna go to Levi Stadium in California, and who knows who they're.
Yeah, they're going to. Well, hold on. This year's Arlington, Texas. Next year would be Arizona at the University of Phoenix Stadium, and then the following year would be Tampa, Florida.
Tampa.
So what is it? Robert Griffin
Tampa Stadium is
James
good, right?
Stadium
That's a nice little stadium
with a pirate ship.
The pirate ship. In
with
the
a
back.
pirate ship. I mean, if you want to watch an NFL game the way it's supposed to be watched, you drive 3 hours to Tampa, and you check out a Buccaneers game.
I've been wanting to do that.
You get there in 3 hours, bro.
About 3 hours and a half.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll say, yo.
You're flying over there.
Yeah, but in about 3 hours and a half. Or you can catch a flight for 20 minutes. A flight for like $30 on Spirit, and you get to Tampa.
By the way, you love that pink shirt, by the way.
I love it. It's one of my favorite shirts.
You wear it quite often here.
But I have 3 shirts for work.
Is that your Tuesday shirt?
No, this is one of my work shirts.
Right? That he's worn this one before.
Yeah, I like the shirt.
I thought of that like 20 minutes ago.
All right,
Like,
bro.
I've seen this shirt before.
You guys are hating on my shirt.
No, it's nice.
Your salmon shirt.
Yes, sir.
Is it salmon or is it pink?
No, salmon.
Well, first of all,
Well,
it's
I'm
salmon,
colorblind.
not salmon.
Yeah. You don't say the L in
No, it's
salmon.
salmon.
Bro,
You
I'm
just say
Puerto Rican.
salmon.
Guys. Puerto Rican. That's how it comes out. Leave me alone. Don't rag on me.
I guess I'm next. You guys want to make fun of me next? I got you and I got you.
Nice shirt. I wouldn't wear it. Good luck.
All right.
Anyway,
it fits nice on my arms.
It does. It does. Are we on YouTube today?
Yeah, we are on YouTube.
Nice. If you want to check out Frank's arms, look at that.
I tweeted it earlier. I think you retweeted me.
Guns blazing.
Gun
There you
show.
go. Yes, sir.
Guns blazing.
David Boston style.
So, oh my God, that's a tremendo.
Wow.
That guy was
What a throwback, bro.
David Boston. That's when they didn't test for PEDs. If they would have tested for PEDs, that guy would have be gone.
Talking about that, they're testing now in NFL for actual HGH.
Good luck with the
You
NFL.
think it'll be a problem?
Of course it's going to be a problem. I mean, why would you take that away from the players? I mean, it only helps recovery, all right? And you have players right now that are dying because of the sport. Why would you take that away? That makes no sense whatsoever. I mean, and Goodell's gone into a hole here after the whole Ray Rice thing. You haven't heard from him again. I mean, he was basically the story of the NFL the first 4 weeks of preseason and then the first 2 weeks of the NFL season. Then the Ray Rice thing blew up, and Mr. Goodell has gone into a hole. He's nowhere to be found.
No.
Has anybody seen Goodell?
I haven't heard from him.
No. He's in a rat hole somewhere. So, I mean, I think it's stupid that you would take HGH away from these players. I mean,
that's what killed baseball.
Yeah, I mean, what's the point? Why are you doing that? I mean, what do you get out of it? I have no idea. I mean, we've talked about this before. How Mark Cuban is the only guy he's actually doing a test on this to see if HGH is good for recovery and for health. So, which is I think what the NFL should do.
Let me tell you something about Mark Cuban. That guy's one of the smartest guys out there.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? I watched that show, Shark Tank, and that guy says things that I'm like, bro, that guy's... No wonder he's a millionaire. That's what I tell you.
Right.
As crazy as he is and as animated as he is, you sit there and you listen to that guy talk, and you're like, all right, now I understand why you have millions, and I sit here at home. Like, it's just... Hey, he's blessed. He just has a mind that's just at another level. You know? So it's pretty interesting.
No, he is an amazing mind. I love to hear his interviews.
Yeah, they're great. Like, you just listen to him talking, like, yo, this guy's a genius. So you're listening to the O and Frank Noodles Show on SoulFlowRadio.com. Our next segment is What's on Your Mind. It's usually just us discussing normal things in life, no more about sports. Sometimes it's about sports. And we'll get back to you guys in a little bit. All right, bye.
SoFloRadio.com and SoFloTelevision.com. By the Glass.
By the Glass is a show about beverage culture.
Brad Hubbard.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to connect the dots on how everything works together. It's really all about how we enjoy things, how we enjoy life, and how beverages play a big part in that. I'm going to bring in people that are going to display their aspect of the culture. I'm going to bring in people that are going to show you different products. We're going to look at places where people go to consume these beverages and how they all interact. Things are built around the actual beverage itself.
By the Glass. Thursdays from 6 to 7. Only on SoFloRadio.com.
Return the favor. Return the favor. Return the favor. Return the favor. Return the favor with their debut release, Picture This. Featuring You Have My Attention. Go to Facebook.com/Return the Favor. Picture This. Return the Favor. Available on iTunes.
Hey, remember when radio was fun?
Now it's dead.
Because deregulation has allowed one massive corporation to spread its tentacles like a giant octopus, absorbing radio stations around the globe. And that's why you hear this.
SoFlo Radio will stand and fight the corporate monolith. SoFloRadio.com. SoFloRadio.com.
You are tuned in to the O and Frank Noodles Show.
Over these last few weeks, and I remember when you first got here, you wrote a piece of paper in my locker. I don't know why I'm crying so much, man.
On SoulFlowRadio.com.
Mom, you the real MVP.
You thought it was over? I wasn't born last night. I know these names ain't right. But you was blowing up her phone last night. But she ain't have a ring or not her ring on last night. Ooh, that's that nerve. Why give a your heart when she rather have a purse? Why give a an inch when she rather have
Last segment of the show, as I'm trying to keep it together here. My Dodgers are down. We're going to come back. We're going to tie this game up. And we're going to win it. Got to stay strong here. So usually our last segment is What's on Your Mind. And it could be anything related to something that happened in your house. Maybe your neighbor. You had an argument with them. Just, people fighting in the street. Whatever's on your mind. It could be anything related to sports or just things in general. So I have two of them, actually. One of them is Eric Hosmer, who's a local kid here from Broward. Actually went to American Heritage. And he did something pretty cool that a lot of players don't do anymore. And you could probably only do this in a city like Kansas City. If not everywhere else, you'll probably get jacked or they'll take advantage of you. But after they won their I believe, the division series on Monday, he invited everyone to a bar. On Twitter, he put, KC, you guys showed us so much love out all year. We're returning the favor for you guys tonight at McFadden's, which is a bar in Kansas City. And himself and the Kansas City players picked up the tab for them and the people who showed up to the bar. So it was about a $15,000.
Cool story.
Yeah, it's about a $15,000 tab. He paid about $3,000 of it. and the rest of his teammates picked up the rest of the bill for about 12 grand. So that's pretty cool. You know, a lot of people out there probably, you know, are super excited to meet these guys. They're obviously cheering for them. They look up to them, you know. And, you know, for them to extend an invitation and bring those guys out there, I thought was really, really cool. I know Chad Johnson's done a couple of things like this in the past where he's actually said, hey, meet me at the mall and I'll buy you shoes. And he's done things like that. That's
Chad
pretty
Johnson
cool.
is a maniac.
He is a maniac. But that's cool, dude. Like, you know,
that
reach out.
has no concept of money. I remember, it's funny that you bring up Chad Johnson. I remember on the show Hard Knocks, all right, one time Marvin Lewis tries to explain to him how banks work, all right? And this always stuck out in my mind because he asked him, he goes, this is how banks work. You deposit the money, they keep your money, and then they get the money, and they invest it. And that didn't go too well in his mind. He kind of stopped. He was on his way out from the door, kind of closed the door and crept back in. And he goes, you mean to tell me I give the bank my money and they lend it out? And he goes, yeah, that's how banking works. He goes, man, that makes no sense to me whatsoever. And I'm like, are you serious? Man, it looked like they had told him, listen, aliens just landed outside. He had no idea that what was going on.
Think about it. I mean, we know who he is.
Right.
It just think about it. That's probably exactly what.
That just
it doesn't shock me. Like it does, but it doesn't. That makes sense to you? Like
right.
I mean, the same way Manny Ramirez once, when he returned his car, he had leased a vehicle, right? And he goes to turn it in, and his agent or one of his whatever marketing guys goes to turn in the car for him. And when they get there, they have to empty out your car. You know, your glove compartment, your whatever.
Right.
And he had about I think 30 checks uncashed or untaken to the bank. And they added up the checks, and he had about $500,000 in there.
Wow.
In checks that he had never cashed. And he didn't realize that he had to go to the bank and cash them. Because they were like sponsorship checks.
Right.
See, the Red Sox would pay him just like direct deposit.
Right.
But other people were giving him checks. And he just thought it was like cool. Like, all right, cool, you gave me a check. It's just like a receipt. No clue.
Well, that's just like when Tim Bowens got his second contract, since we're on this right now.
Oh, you told me that.
He got the check and put it under his mattress. And about 4 or 5 months later, the Dolphins go up to him and like, listen, Timbo, did you cash the check? Because our books are out of balance. A check for $21 million. And he's like, no, I put it under the mattress. So it's like, I mean, you think of the things that some of these guys do sometimes, and I mean, it's pretty hilarious. I mean, Chad Johnson would take, I mean, he had this streak every week that he would take guys out on shopping sprees.
Yeah.
And, meet me here for breakfast and pay the tab. And I'm like, all right, you're going to be broke, buddy.
Little crazy. My next thing is I went to see a movie this weekend, and I don't go to the movies often. Right? I'm not a movie guy.
Well, the movies lately suck.
Yeah, but there's good movies out there. But I just don't like the whole situation of going there, and it's just for me, I'm just a mission. I don't like it. But I went to see a movie called Gone Girl, right? And let me tell you something. First of all, if you want to break up with your chick, go see the movie.
Why? Tell me.
Okay.
Why? What is it about?
If you really love your wife and you really want to keep your relationship and you know your wife's a little crazy, don't take her to see this movie. It is a complete setup.
Well, give me the details. What are we talking about?
Dude, basically, the chick in the movie frames her husband that he murdered her. And she does it so well that it's scary, bro.
Right.
Like, I was sitting there like, what the fuck is going on? Like, I could not believe what I was watching. And I'm like, Diana, let's leave. We're not watching this anymore. It's great movie.
Okay.
But, wow, don't piss your wife off.
No, I mean, women and their magical evil vaginas.
They are so much smarter than we are.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they're like 10 steps ahead of us. Like, what this lady was doing, like, I was watching it and I'm like, all right, so yes, they're capable of this because we know how vindictive they could be. And when they're on a mission, they will accomplish it. what this lady did to this guy was unreal. How she had it planned, how she set it up was like, whoa.
Right. Well, thanks for telling me that. Yeah, I'm not gonna watch that movie.
No, watch it.
I'll watch it by myself.
Go by yourself, or
I'll wait for the Netflix to come out.
Yeah, like you take your chick, and if your chick has any ideas of anything that's happening,
forget it.
Yeah, you're done. She'll probably buy the book, read up on it, and well, the funny thing is that I started to research a little bit about it, and I Googled stuff and whatever. The lady who wrote the book, she's an author. It was a book first, and they made it a movie. When the father of she's married now,
okay,
right? Her husband's father called his son, and said, "Hey, you need to get a divorce right away. He's gonna kill you." Like basically, like joking around, was like, "Dude, your wife is crazy," because she wrote it, so she had to like think and plan everything out. So it's pretty interesting, by the way. So good movie, but just know what you're getting yourself into.
Wow,
it could be dangerous.
Frankie, you got anything?
Yeah, I actually got something, and it was gonna go towards something of what like O was saying earlier. Did you guys hear about the story that this lady got pulled over and she had her 5-year-old inside of the car, and she didn't have him in a baby seat, so the cop pulled her over and
she stuck him in the trunk.
No. Mike.
Yeah, but that happened.
Okay, but this isn't this story. That's not what's on my mind. So anyway, so the cop pulls this lady over. Okay,
that did happen, by the way.
The cop pulls this lady over, and he has his front dash camera on. Okay, so he pulls her over, and when he sees the car, the lady doesn't have the kid in a car seat. So he asks her, why isn't the kid in a car seat? You know, she pretty much tells him that she didn't have any money, she's struggling, and she didn't have any money to buy a car seat. Instead of this cop giving her a ticket, he drove her to the Walmart, bought her a baby seat. Okay? Bro, the story's going viral. The officer's name is DiLorenzo. It happened in Michigan. And total act of kindness, and it kind of sits me back. And bro, you know, in Miami we're very survival of the fittest.
Correct.
So it's nice to see that these kind of people exist in the world. But bro, where are these people in Miami? Because none of these people exist in Miami.
They're
you know, you get pulled over by a cop here, and it doesn't matter. Oh, we're pulling you over for speeding. Oh, you don't have your seatbelt. Your tints are too whatever. Your music is too loud. Before you know, you have like 8 tickets just walking out of there.
Yeah, this place is rotten. I mean, I've had this conversation with some of my friends. This place is, I mean, when hell was gonna freeze over, the devil was going to come out right there on Burton 87th. I mean, that's where he's coming out. He's coming out right there. All right, because everyone here has this personality of, I need to make a name for myself.
With a cazuela?
Yeah. Whether it be with everything. If you wash cars, I need to make a name for myself. If you're a cop, I need to make a name for myself. So, yeah, it's completely and totally survival of the fittest. And it's, wow, that's a really great story, man, that the cop would do that. I mean, because you don't hear of cops doing that stuff.
No, I mean, like he very easily could have given her a ticket and said, all right, you know what, go on your merry way. Whoever catches her next gives her another ticket. But this cop stopped that. He noticed that the woman was started. I don't know. Yeah, actually, she does look pretty good. She just came on the screen right now.
There's a motive there.
There's a motive.
No, but you know, it's nice, bro. He could have just given her a ticket.
Cop there?
That's the cop there. He could have given her a ticket, and he went to Walmart, bought her a baby seat, so she doesn't have this issue anymore.
She's actually pretty
which is
decent
fantastic. $50, bro. You know, $50.
Very nice.
Great story. Very touching. Instead of me being negative today, I decided to be positive.
Nice. Oh, I'm gonna take my what's on your mind a little bit on the conspiracy tip a little bit. You know, I like these things. You know, this is my kind of trademark here, and I'm gonna talk a little bit about Ebola.
Uh-oh.
And I mean, it's absolutely, I think, ridiculous to me the way that this is being promoted on television and the way it's being handled by the Center for Disease Control and everything. Because, I mean, I keep up with all this stuff. I watch a show with Abby Martin, Breaking the Set. I go on InfoWars, and I read up on this stuff just like I do in sports. And the way that they've covered this whole Ebola thing, I mean, they even have a logo for it now. Have you even seen the logo on television? Because all they do is pump it on every newscast. Ebola. And if they're promoting it this much, is because there is some rich white man somewhere going to make millions on this. And if you guys don't know, vaccine stocks in the last 3 weeks have skyrocketed. All right, these vaccine companies, if this thing goes viral, like they say they're predicting it's going to go, these vaccine companies are going to make billions in profit. And I just think it's and what they're promoting and saying that you can only catch Ebola if you touch somebody or sexual contact. That is bullshit, okay? Ebola is airborne, all right? It could go into the air, and I don't know what's going to happen. We're going to be wearing gas masks around here.
Eventually, we'll be like China, where they have the
with
surgical
with the
masks.
SARS
Right.
thing, which happened about 10 years ago, which is exactly what I said.
When the swine flu came out too, you saw everybody in China with the masks over their face too.
Well, I caught the swine flu. I don't know if you had it for a while, and it was bad. I mean, it locked my throat. I mean, it was terrible. I was sick for like 2 weeks.
Wow.
It was fever. I couldn't feel my throat. It was really bad. So, I mean, not to be a conspiracy theorist, but I think they're kind of pushing this Ebola thing like they do everything else. Like they push cancer and they push terrorism and all this stuff. And I just find it I don't know. It's just so blatant to me that it kind of makes me angry. So
That's a good point.
That's my whole thing on Ebola.
So I'm actually looking now on my Instagram, and
Right.
Ray Allen posted something, and he said, "If I decide to play another season, you will hear it from me first. In the meantime, don't believe everything you read on the internet."
Well, did you see LeBron's hairline?
Yeah, it disappeared.
Yeah, he had a hairline, and then he didn't have a hairline.
3 days later.
I mean, this guy is like,
when you got money, that's how it works.
I mean, this guy is just A-Rod all over again.
That's
bro.
worse than Carlos Boozer, bro, with his little spray can top.
Look,
Yeah.
what's gonna happen is that
I'm sick of LeBron already, bro. I don't know about you guys. I'm sick of LeBron, and it's not that he left from here. I just think he's just his message and his
Yes.
whole persona has
Yes.
just gotten tiresome already.
you know what? I don't want to sound like the guy that's like, he left here, sour grapes, bah, 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 bah. But I defended him at first. But
I'm just tired of his little
like-
stupid little act.
like, it's
he's like
just-
so little sneaky. He's like a little bitch.
Yeah.
He's like a little bitch.
Like I want to kick him in the balls when he comes down here. How about that?
Yeah, he's like a little bitch. I mean, and the whole thing, I'm going to Cleveland for the kids. All right, then you came out in the interview and said, if Miami would have won the third title, I thought about staying. Dude, where do you stand? You're like a woman.
He says whatever's convenient at that time. That's what he
Yeah,
says.
like he's such a little bitch. It's just, it drives me crazy, dude.
Yeah, I see. Yeah, the whole thing with LeBron is whatever.
I think the Bulls are going to kick their ass, by the way, too.
I don't know about that.
So does that mean that Ray Allen didn't sign or what? Because the word
man,
today
that's-
was that he was going to be joining them.
That's straight from his Instagram right now.
You think they're going to win the title again?
Who?
You think LeBron's going to win the title again?
Do I think he'll win the title?
Yeah.
Oh wow, dude! Look, honestly,
the Western Conference is way too strong.
Honestly, I think,
there's too many questions on the Cavaliers right now.
like right now, if I had to put money on it, I couldn't put my money on the Cavs. I think the West is strong. I think the West has some really good teams, and I even think there's a couple teams in the East that are solid. I think Washington is gonna give people fits.
Oh, absolutely.
I think Washington's gonna be very tough to beat in a 7-game series. But I mean, does he win another championship in his career? If I was a betting person, yes. I think he does.
Yeah. I think the Bulls are a better team right now because they have less question marks than the Cavaliers do. Kyrie Irving is not going to be easy to play with on that team. All right? He's just not. He's going to want to dominate. That's going to take a while
for her to develop.
For them
and
to
make
adapt
sense.
to
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
They don't play defense.
Yeah.
Okay?
They don't
And
rebound.
They don't rebound.
Yeah, we have to see what Cleveland does. We have to see what Cleveland does as far as if the coaching staff makes sense. There we go. A little scrap between
Paul Pierce and
Joakim Noah?
Joakim Noah in a preseason game getting into a scuffle.
Yeah.
Preseason game.
I love Joakim Noah, bro.
I like him.
Yeah. Joakim Noah, I'm a big fan of his.
Like, he plays the game the way it needs to be played. A lot of people don't like him. He's edgy. I understand. But that guy plays the way the game is supposed to be played.
He looks like a chupacabra.
He's out there balling.
He looks a little bit. He looks a little bit like Sloth from the Goonies.
Hey,
guys!
How good were those Gator teams back in those days when they won 2 national championships?
They were awesome.
I mean, those teams were loaded.
It was Noah. Who else was on that team?
Brewer, Horford.
Is Horford playing basketball right now?
Yeah,
No,
he
Atlanta.
plays for the Atlanta. He's
right.
really good with Atlanta too.
That's right. Al Horford.
They had a couple other guys too. So basically, my Dodgers are still down 3-2, and
You're stuck. Top of the ninth, bro.
top of the ninth. I'm
You got 3 outs left in your season.
It's bad. It's bad right now.
Did you guys hear about that story? Mike Francesa fell asleep on the microphone doing a radio show.
Yeah, and then he woke up and he looked at the camera like mad.
He was mad because they had got him sleeping.
No way.
Doing a radio show.
But did he have like a partner or anything?
No, you know how he woke up? His head slammed into the microphone.
Yeah, he fell asleep.
Doink. Imagine this thing has like a buzzer like that or something.
But he's on a webcam, so then he stares at the webcam like pissed off because the webcam caught him.
What a disaster. So he's mad at the webcam that his ass fell asleep.
Yeah.
It's the second time this happens, too, during an interview.
That's hilarious.
What a joke. So we'll be back on the air next Tuesday. We did miss last week, but we'll be back next Tuesday. I will be out of town this weekend. Wish me luck as I go
to Las Vegas
on a journey to Las Vegas with some crazy guys.
With the Trump tight click.
And before I leave the show, I'm going to curse Caesar's fantasy football team, and he will lose this week and not win high pick.
I think
Caesar's
Caesar's going to go undefeated.
No, he's not. He's losing this week.
All right.
And with that, we close the show. See you guys next week.
Laters.
SoFloRadio.com and SoFloTelevision.com.